Hello. Look what I got. Pretty lady. Oh, pause the music. Pretty lady. Congrats on getting first, Duke. You can see the pretty lady. I got the outfit. Guess what I don't have? The actual character that the outfit goes on. Yeah, she won't. She's like, nah. She's like, nah. Well, now we know Stoll is here. On account of how she's wifing. But I got outfit. I had extras, so I spent like 20 or 30, actually I think it was 25, trying to get this Fu Hua, and she said, fuck you, no. So like, fuck me, I guess. We'll do one Gamba. It's the only Gamba I have. I also gambled on her weapon. I instead got a weapon for Susanna. I instead got This is Hana's weapon. I don't... This seems to happen every time I fucking roll on a weapon banner. Fuhua is now on the front. She's now hanging out here. Yes, she is your wife. But, this is where those crystals are going for the next 2 weeks. I have gotten nothing pry-armed or anything, so... This is where all of the crystals are going for the next 2 weeks. So that we can punch things in this super pretty outfit. Cause it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Why is there no Fuhua in Star Rail? She would have fit in so perfectly on the CN show. She would have been perfect. Like, she'd actually, I think, fit pretty well as a Vidyadhara. What with her memory shenanigans being a major aspect of her storylines. So, like, that would have been interesting. Or she could just be a long-lived human. Either one would fit, because she is also old as shit. Why no Fuhua? Also, when is the wives? When is Ellie? When is Doo? When are they coming? When are my wives coming? Well, it is in Star Rail. In Kiana, when the fuck is Kiana coming? Kiana might be dead. When's she coming? When are the other main characters coming? We'll get a flashback to her dying horribly to traumatize everybody. Part of it we played through 1.6. We're at 1.7 on it. But all my characters maxed out. But now, we are gonna go find out the fuck is going on here. I was doing some of the side quests, but then these things, every time I tried to go into one, I got stuck on an infinite load screen. So I don't know why, but I got stuck on infinite load screen. Yeah, we rescued Welt. Well, so the funny thing is, the first day after stream that we had started doing Elysium Everlasting, I actually did a couple of those off stream, and it was fine. So I was like, okay, I'll do some more of those off stream. But then the game was like, no. Only loading screen. So I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm back? Oh. Just as she had regained her senses, the sharp pain in her head had nearly caused her to pass out again. Damn. It's really not that easy. The pain kept on, but she didn't make a sound. She knew the pain was chipping away at the key to a counter-offensive. Fortunately, that was something her enemies knew as well. Here it comes. Severe pain! Woo, girl, I feel you. Alright, I'm still on the Mobius one. I also couldn't finish the side quests because I need to buff the things to do the side quests, but I can't buff them. Cause broken. The Herrscher of Corruption noticed Sylvie's gone, probably. Ah! Oh god. Oh god, what the fuck is happening? Oh god, it's breaking. It started to break. Oh, I know that voice. You misspelled that. It was impossible because Vilvi had told herself that her data was deleted by enemies. Then the voice she was hearing could only belong to an imposter. The Herrscher of Corruption appeared before her in the most spiteful way imaginable. Okay, but I like the blue Ellie outfit. Why is this effect still on the screen? Oh my god, the game is having a problem. I like the blue. It actually looks really pretty. Okay. We should switch this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I mean, she is a cute elf. Boundless darkness engulfed them. The passage of time had not yet stopped here, and then, amid the surrounding quiet, the moment came. As though struck by lightning, her heart began to flutter violently. That is not how you. That's not the right lightning. That's lightening, like lightening the environment. Anger, surprise, pain, dismay, sadness, countless emotions bubbled forth unexpressed. And then all the voices in her head fell silent. Fog began to dissipate, and dark green marks now covered her arms. An indistinct voice could be heard from far away. Oh, been seen so soon? Your vigilance always amazes me. You can't do anything about it now. That's what you get always staying in the workshop. Anyways, let's have some fun, shall we? The bubbles on her body began to rise upward. As if at the bottom of the sea, only fragments of words could be heard intermittently. Oh? So this is your experience. The voice sounded familiar, but what was she going on about? She still felt groggy, and everything felt like it was running in slow motion. You are sharp as sword. You cannot fall into its hands. So I need you to die immediately. With one particularly large bubble came an arrogant voice. Oh dear, going backstage during a performance and threatening the magician. Guards? Sylvie, this is not the time to joke. Why? Because Kevin's dead? You already know? Minute voices became clear, but she couldn't hear them through the silence. So drowning, she struggled to wave her arms, looking towards the only light. Can't be, it can't be. Time to wake up. The bubble rises to the surface, becoming smaller, and then pops the moment it reaches the surface. The sense of floating suddenly disappears. So awakened from a long dream, she opens her eyes. Huh? Am I the only one left? I remember whenever I would wake up, this place would be really active. This doesn't feel right. It's too quiet. As she walked down the corridor, she noticed there was something off about the tile under her feet, but it was already too late. Bang! Rainbow confetti foamed from the ceiling and stage lights turned on. Huh? What's this? Welcome back. Now let me present to you the best magic show of the century. Where's my jet booster butt? Why is everything on fire? I'm confused. A lot, Duke. How do I delete one of these? The moon shone brightly. Eden closed the door to the rooftop, cutting off the flickering lights behind her as she went. The sound of music drifted in and out on the other side of the door, as though the show from earlier was still going on. Hey, what are the odds? Out for some fresh air too? An unfamiliar voice stopped Eden dead in her tracks. The musical shouldn't be finished just yet. Realizing her disguise was still intact, Eden relaxed a bit and nodded. Next will be the curtain call. You don't like curtain calls? Loss can overshadow the light of the play. I only wish you appreciated its original form before that happens. It was a weird response, but she laughed anyway. Yeah, no kidding. Characters are back to being actors, singing on stage during the curtain call. It's almost a sad scene. It's like saying it was all just a story, and when the curtain falls, the story's done. That's what the curtain call's all about. You don't want to see it? I'm sad to see it end. It's a pretty romantic story, and I'd like to savor it some more. Romantic? This is the first time I heard that word used on the play. Solemn, sad, depressing. That's how most people describe it. It is a tragedy, after all. It's a bit much, really. Nothing happy happens from the first act onward. Things just keep getting worse and worse. Characters are hopeless and powerless, passively pushed forward by fate. It's all too real. It's hard to get people to sit through an entire story like that. You mean impossible, no? So what makes you call it romantic, then? Because of how it ends, of course. Sad for the most part, but I quite like the ending. A small bud rises from the smoldering ruins. It's beautiful, no? Maybe it'll bloom, or maybe it'll wither, but at the moment, it's right there, announcing its new life to the whole world. That moment will stick with me for a long time. Tells me the tragedy isn't the end, it's the beginning of hope. Our footprints will someday guide someone else forward. Tragedy isn't the end, it's the beginning of hope. The words lingered in her mind. That's pretty optimistic, but I guess you're right. It is romantic. Only humanity could think like that. Only humanity could try to realize such a conviction. Whether the journey is good or bad, whether the ending is happy or sad, this beauty exists solely because of people. Yep. After experience the pains of adulthood, that child will one day wake up with the same convictions from before. Humanity's beauty is fragile, yet perfect and pure. Like a crystal flower in bloom. The young girl gazed into the starry sky and sang softly, a sight Eden was very familiar with. It reminded her to be on stage when she was enamored with singing. Even among professionals, who can gaze upon the world with such delicate grace. Are you an actress, writer, composer? I'm just another viewer. Sorry to disappoint. What's so special about me? Maybe having been to a lot of places, seen a lot of people, looking a little cute? What I said, it's just my personal feelings about the play. Your personal feelings? You don't mind? Maybe we can talk about it more after the show. Beauty is what I'm after too. So how about the ice float canteen at the top of the Blue Sky building? Is that the restaurant with the never-ending wait list? Wouldn't it be too much trouble to bring me along? Not at all. They always save 2 seats just for me. One day that might change, but we should still be good, for tonight at least. That sounds awesome. Of course, I'd love to go. But after all this talking, I realized I haven't even introduced myself. The young girl looked back, smiling at Eden. The moonlight reflected silently on her face. My name is Alicia, the symbol of paradise. And you? Aponia, in your body. Yes, I'm sorry. Kalpus used his life to uncover the enemy's location for us. But also let me complete my touch. Indeed. So the anomalies on my body. Please, do not interact with the other person in any way. This discipline is the last gift I can give to you. Her share of corruption. Those final hours, Kalpus told me everything he knew. All of it. No need to say anything more. They all knew what that meant. Don't give me that look, Eden. That, as far as I'm concerned, just sets me on my path a little bit earlier. I'm glad I gave her that flower in advance. Rosario is a smart kid, so keep it safe. Go find her then. Sue said Kevin left him with something before disappearing. You two must have the same idea. That's how we can be certain the 3 of the keys are safe and sound. The only one left is Vilvi. When he touched Kalpus, I caught a glimpse of her. I hope she's still doing all right. I couldn't help him just now. Before I go here, May had already gone to meet her. It's Vilvi. She'll make the right call. Is that so? Then all you can do is believe in her. I'll find Griseo and Sue before the Hersher, gather up all the crystal flowers, and get them to bloom as they should. Good. Eden, go now. Let the secret of that night see the light of day. Gentle sigh rose up from the quiet like a final prayer. After a moment of silence, her heavy gaze fell back to Eden. Aponia, this is goodbye. Thank you for this last discipline. Protect me till this is over. Take care. If there is nothing more I can do, I'll offer you my blessings. From the ocean of chaotic data. And I'll pray for you, for a better future. Eden disappeared into the darkness. Behind her was nothing but silence, yet she knew she would soon face an even darker abyss. Death. When the bard who tells the story for time becomes part of the story, how does she lead to it to its conclusion? I'll dehydrate. For no apparent reason, the words floated up her mind again. Tragedy isn't the end. It's the beginning of hope. Comfy, cozy, wholesome, heartwarming story where nobody dies horribly. Alicia's story. Happy game. Lights of the empty amusement park were still on, the facilities all running as usual. There stood 2 young girls opposite each other. The hostile gaze of one of them erected an invisible barrier between them. Who are you exactly? Oh, it's just been a short while and you've forgotten me? It hurts to see how much you don't care. Drop the act. They'll clearly know you're not her. Well then, no need to keep up the show, it seems. I can't believe my friend would betray me like that. I really trusted Vilvi. Trust? I wouldn't call it that. Don't say that, May. I've seen you in her memory. She's quite fond of you. You. Sneeze. A big sneeze. You. What's wrong? I'm using a familiar face and voice, but you don't seem happy at all. What is that? Sounds like you hate me? I don't actually know what Vilvi said to you. Doesn't matter. I'll look over the data when I have time. Before any of that, you should know I don't mean you any harm. Why don't we start over as a sign of good faith? I'll go first. I'm a Hersher born between life and death. I live on data and assume the physical form of a certain entity. I'm more familiar terms, a Hersher of corruption, that's me. I think that name is still a bit crude, though. Why did you take Alicia's form? So is that what you care about? It's easy, really, other than the familiarity it makes you feel. This look is very cute on me now. Oh, come on, May. Don't look at me like that. I mean it. Just because I'm the Hersher of corruption, I can't choose my own appearance? Surprises me you'd say that. Well, it just so happens that I took over her data, so why not? She pointed at her own cheeks. You should know better than me that nobody cherishes her unique beauty more than herself. Which is me now. Wait, she took over Alicia's data. Vilvi said her data was deleted. Why would Hersher of corruption tell such an obvious lie? Accepting outside data allows me to grow. Because with life I learned to fear death. With form I began to pursue beauty, and with nothingness I wish to cherish everything. Very neat to see, it's gross. Born from nothingness, I am learning what it means to live. It would be a mistake to see me as an enemy of humanity. A mistake? Yeah, I did invade Elysian realm. After all, my existence is built upon corruption. May, I never meant to cause anyone harm, even if they are just memory sins made by data. I speak the truth. Look, nobody in the Elysian realm has disappeared. Maybe they're no longer in the form you'd recognize, but they're still around, right? She pointed at her forehead. Here. After the corruption is done, they become a part of me. Rather, I become a part of them. Because I was once a tabula rasa, I am fully able to embrace everything from them. I received their data, immersed in their experiences, and inherited their emotions and will. So you can see me as a continuation of the Flame Chasers. Doesn't that cheer you up? Cheer me up. The scene from the other day floated up her mind, obituaries drifting like snowflakes, dots of light slipping from her palms. May lowered her eyelids, hiding her anger. You invaded this place, manipulated everything, trampled over the last remnants of these heroes. They died before my very eyes, and you have the gall to tell me you're a continuation of their lives? Fine then. It seems no matter what I say, you'll always see me as a villain. Since you're looking for a fight so badly, I guess I have no other choice. The last thing I want is to disappoint. So you're finally revealing your true colors. I don't get why you're putting on such an innocent face, but it ends here. I don't want to fight you at all. It's pointless. We shouldn't be enemies. But I know you're the type of girl that likes to get right to the bottom of things. So I'm happy to show you the power of corruption and put all my cards in your hand one by one, and prove to you that before your eyes is the real me. Now first, it's a Mobius. Cool.
世の乱れを燃やし尽くせ。メイが楽園に入ったばかりの頃、似たような戦いを経験したでしょ。融合戦士の秘密を餌にして、一歩ずつメイを罠にはめ、取って変わろうとする。メビウスの考え方は私とそっくりなのよね。でもメイは私に対してはそんなに寛容じゃない気がするわ。
Hit the Mobius.
メイの優しさって先着順なの？ 世の乱れを燃やし尽くせ。
Mobius defeated. Oh god, it's Well, we're evenly matched. You should be proud of yourself. Now,
それなら次はこのデータを参考にしましょ
this data.
う。天下
Calpus.
世の乱れ
Giant
を燃やし尽く
Calpus.
せ。必ず死ぬと予言されたからって戦号に死を求めることで局面を打破しようとするなんて。これを見た時私はびっくりしたの。でもメイの綺麗な体に傷跡が残るのを見たくないわ。仕方ないわね。ここは彼に譲歩してもらいましょう。
She's like, oh shit, I guess this means Calpus is dead too. Cool, everybody's dead. No big deal. Yet another tie. Next, I'll call this one to fight. It's not a tie when I already destroyed the things you're creating.
それでも彼女のことを友人だと思ってるわ。
The camera annoyed me. The camera annoyed me.
素晴らしい演出は大魔術師専門家大変よく覚えてないわ。でも大丈夫。どのビルビーのデータもここにあって私と一つになってる。他の記憶体たちと同じようにね。さてここまでにしましょう。これで
You need to see how pointless this kind of fighting is.
でも
You know there's nothing you can do, and yet you come at me again and again.
何度も
I like
何
that
度も
about you.
私に
Being like that is just a game to her. But those illusions' strength is so real. Could it be that in the data space she's invincible? She can wield any data she corrupts. She gets her greatest strength from the Elysian realm's data. Means I can't easily use my authority of conquest on hers with the puppets. I don't know enough about her corrupting power. I only have one chance, and should I fail? Suddenly, a sharp pain struck her head. May stumbled and gripped her teeth as she choked back a cry. The harsher of corruption's voice still reached her ears, but was muffled by the pain.
ほら言った
See,
でしょ。
I told you before, I
メイ
wasn't
に
going
危
to
害
hurt
を
you.
加えこれで信じてく
Now
れ
do you
るかし
believe
ら。
me? We are enemies. In
私たちは
fact, it's
敵
the
同士じゃ
opposite.
ない。
Shit, she broke. She watched as the harsher of corruption's lips kept moving. There was like a barrier around her voice, such that it couldn't be heard. What's going on? My head is pounding. Was it that fight? Was I corrupted? No, if I was corrupted like the memory, she would have shut up a long time ago. Besides, she doesn't seem to notice what's going on. Wait, this feeling. Amid the pains coming and going, a few words of advice flashed in her mind.
でも今の
You may
君
not
はまだ
understand
気
just
づい
how
てないで
critical
し
you
ょ。
are to the entire plan.
このけど
But Sue will help you
大丈夫。
understand. I hope you got my message.
これが全てのパズルだ。
Those are all the pieces to the puzzle.
さあ
Take it, May.
持って
The
行って。
real inscription of
メイ
Helix.
これが
That's all I can
私
do.
が完
Whatever
成
I'm
させられ
capable
る
of, you are too.
全ての
So,
配置だ。全ての謎
go
を
and solve all these
明らかに。
puzzles. Filthy, the signet of Helix. It's doing something to my consciousness. After she realized this, the pain began to subside like a wave returning to sea. She could hear clearly again.
メイ
Are you really
本
giving
当
me
に
the
私と
silent
ちゃんと
treatment,
話し
May?
あなたの欲しい答
Anything you
えを
want to know, I
全
can
部
tell you. Looks like I need to stall her until I meet up with Sue. Finally, an opportunity. I'm not looking for advice. You didn't give me any other option, did you? I know a cold-faced and warm-hearted girl like May wouldn't have the heart to turn me down.
見たじゃあ
Where to begin? I'll have to give it some thought. Oh, I know. I'll start with what you want to know most. Snap. The snap of her fingers, the amusement park began to change form. When the lights were on once more, everything was different. A Ferris wheel. Alicia's probably told you. We'll go to that 5E island where the final banquet took place, witness the birth and death of the 13th Hersher together. Come, May, let's make good on that promise. Now's the time to really open up to one another, just like a date. A date. The gay kinds. So this is what it looks like to be up here on the Ferris wheel. I've seen similar scenes from memory, but to experience it firsthand is completely different. I almost get why they made a space just to store all this seemingly meaningless stuff. Come on, May, don't be such a sourpuss. Wouldn't it be a lot of fun just to have a romantic date with me on the Ferris wheel? Oh, don't tell me you're surprised I can pull a Ferris wheel out of thin air. Just my inner child coming out to help liven up the journey. Liven up? You mean showing off? You're the wrong Hersher for May. Her love is a different Hersher. With white hair. Seems like you keep making your control over the Elysian realm crystal clear. Oh, May, if you keep making me out to be the bad guy, it's gonna hurt my feelings. I thought you'd understand where I'm coming from, and at least become my friend. After all, we're really the same. The same? Perhaps you've forgotten the girl you're pretending to be is also the same. Why did you erase Alicia's memories? Philby told me out of all the data, only Alicia's was completely erased by you. Assumed because she was a Hersher, what you're telling me now suggests the opposite. How can I not be suspicious? What is it about Alicia that scares you so much? Alright, since Philby's already told you, I guess there's no point in hiding it. I did delete Alicia's data. As for why, it wasn't for any particular reason. It was an accident. An accident?
私が古の楽園に来た過程をあなたはもう知ってるわよね
May, you're well aware of how I came to the Elysian realm, yes? Back then, my journey to becoming a Hersher, or better yet, becoming alive, had just begun. Like a child, I have an enduring mechanical understanding of the world around me. My only emotion and instinct is a desire to live. It was in such a state that I met her. She was the first person I came across, the first existence outside myself, but at a time when I couldn't distinguish friend and foe. It'd be better to see what happened afterward for yourself. If May were in my shoes, she'd understand. Darkness came from all sides and enveloped May completely. I was such a handful back then, and now I'm filled with remorse. Where am I? She didn't feel strange, but everything in front of her began to silently change. A Hersher of corruption rewrote the environment? Just another sign that here in the world of data, her power is unlimited. What are you trying to do? Don't worry, May. I just want to show you. What sort of choice was thrust on me that evening? Ah. So then, let's see what choice you'd make, May. Oh no, I got the green corruption squares! Rectangles, they're not all squares. Choice? You didn't even tell me what's going on. Life doesn't need explanations. Can't you feel it? The drive to kill, the threat of death, they're all there. Oh, so that's how it is. May made the same choice as I did. You acted, didn't you? You destroyed all the enemies. Don't you see? They never had any intent of attacking you. The game gave me zero choice. This should help you understand just what kind of situation I was in. But the fear of the unknown and desire to survive is too enticing for someone so young and feeble. As you saw, she didn't fight back, which I guess proves she had no ill will towards me. Fortunately, I only realized that after acquiring more data and growing. If you only attacked Alicia out of instinct, what happened after that? It didn't stop there. After acquiring all this information and power over the realm, is everything else just a matter of instinct too? After that, I hibernated. There was enough here to complete my metamorphosis. That was my original intent. I had no idea Alicia's disappearance would have such a rippling effect. Another force posing an even greater threat had emerged. Kevin. Once he knew about me, I was sure all that awaited was my demise. All at once, I began to feel like I had a target on my back. Do you know what that's like, May? Loneliness, fear, remorse, and confusion. Confusion. It was then that Sylvie, the evil, reached out to me. We had the same impulse to survive, and so we became friends. She would give me new opportunities, and I would help her survive. But there were two unexpected variables. One of them was Kalpis. Kalpis, he's a hardy. He was making so much of a ruckus, so I had to meet him for myself. Luckily, Kalpis can be pretty straightforward, so we had pretty good conversations. I bet Kalpis welcomed you with open arms. Just to say he wasn't aware of the pressure of corruption. What did he do to cause confrontation? It was another accident. It was you, May. I didn't trust you at first, so when the evil went to put her plan in place, I didn't do anything to stop her. But you managed everything so well, taking care of her in a way that I didn't even think of. So how could I keep from wanting to meet you, to meet someone that was able to get through to the evil, to dissolve her drive to survive? Has she not had time to assimilate Vilvi's data? She hasn't discovered Vilvi's original self. Looks like there are corners in the realm that are beyond her perception's reach. So that's your defense, then? Causing harm just to feed your desire for life. I have nothing to say about that. But you ought to know, any action comes at a cost. You shouldn't jump to conclusions, May. From a human perspective, life ends with death, but memories are different. They're data, embodied, form of existence, separate from life. So I, and only I, can bring them back from death. Like this? Filthy. What's wrong, May? Why the sad face? The ability of the ego shouldn't be confined to just one space, be it the dark recesses of the mind or a virtual space, comprised of data. Vilvi should take the entire world as her stage. Now the ego can last forever until each and every idea is fully realized. Can the script satisfy you, May? Vilvi's data will continue to spread through me. So long as I have a backup, she can continue to evolve. Her thinking is too forward for this era, so must be reserved for the next one. This world cannot hold her, so I will change the world to be the one that can. That will allow the fantastic inventor to realize her every wish and become the genius she truly was. It's the perfect ending, no? No. In the real world, there's only one word for such a being. A virus. Oh, and here I thought it was a good idea. To take the data from the realm and realize their wishes. Didn't Mobius have the same idea? I just turned it into reality. Well, if May isn't happy, maybe we can try something else. We're on a beach. Oh my god, Calpis is wearing swim clothes. Seen before May's eyes had changed yet again, revealing an incredible sight in a more incredible person. Calpis? What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Is there something weird about me being here? He tugged at his collar. This is stupid. Do I really have to waste my time on these games? Just because it's that lady's birthday? It's about time you stop this farce, Hersher of corruption. Hersher? I bring up what has been completely wiped out. But hearing that name again after all these years gives me an itch for battle. If you're free, call everyone you know and let's fight. Right, May.
驚く必要は
What
な
are
い
you
わ。
surprised about?
こ
This
れ
is
が
the life
仙道
Countess
の望ん
wanted.
だ変わらない生
A
活
life without
戦
change, a
え
good
る
rival,
相手
and a place
そ
to
れか
call
ら
home.
彼はそんな
He
単純
really
な
is a
人よ
simple man. It's a shame
残
so
念
many
なこと
people
に
don't get that.
大体ほらメイ
It can be
互いを
so
理解
hard
す
to
るのって
understand,
難し
fully
いでし
understand
ょ
one another.
共に
Even
生
in those
死をかけて
closest to
戦
us,
った
they're so
戦友
corners
で
of the
も
heart we can
数
never know.
万年でもデータは
But
嘘を
data
つか
doesn't
ない
lie. The world I'm able to see
私
differs
が見る
greatly
ことが
from
でき
yours.
私だけが
Only I
本
can
当の意味
understand
で
them.
彼
Only
らを
I
理
can
解
provide
で
the
きる
future they wish for.
彼らが
Only I. Suddenly, the surrounding illusion collapsed with a loud bang, revealing the Hersher's
あ
shocked
な
face.
た、は
You...
あ
Oh, I get a
May?
bit emotional whenever I'm
何度も
interrupted.
まさか
Can't
May
be that you
は根に
dislike
持
the
つタイプ
future I planned for Calvus,
私の
can
せ
it? Drop the act. Quit imitating. You're just cementing what a bad actor you are.
エリシア
Alicia, that all comes
結
back to
局
her
彼
now.
女の知ってるわ
I know she's
メイの
special to
中で
you.
彼
You're
女は
angry.
特別な
You
存在
felt she deserved a better ending.
だけどそれは少し無理
This
なの
is
よ
very difficult.
私
I
にで
can
き
only
るの
restore
は
her data using
他
other
の記憶
memories
体
and
によって
myself as a
補正し
template.
その結果は見
So
て
what
の
you're
通
looking at
り
is the limit of what I can
今の
do.
私は頑張って彼女にな
I
る
will try to my hardest to
彼女
become
の考
her,
え
to
は
let her
私
thoughts
の
be
考
my
え
thoughts and her voice
彼
be
女
my
の声は
voice.
私
Yeah, but
の声
Alicia
に
would
なる
never,
の
like, do this. So,
私たちは同
we
じ
have the
顔
same face, the
同
same
じ性
personality,
格
the same memories.
そして同
If
じ
you
記
want, we
憶
can
を持っ
relive
て
those
る
memories all over again. Enough. The more you pretend to be her, the clearer it is that you and her are nothing alike. Do you want to know? Do you want to know what she would have done?
へえ
Misspelling confused me. Oh, it's a shame that conversation will never happen. She would never want to disappoint anyone. You desperately try to imitate her, insulting whatever trace of her is left in this world, again and again. All of yourself, just to activate a long-failed Kevin killer. Suddenly the rare air on the Ferris wheel froze. It's all you're afraid of. It's the only thing in the Elysian realm that can wipe you out for good. The call to stop the Elysian realm from existing is neither decided by unanimous decision nor majority voting. It comes down to Alicia's will, right? You tried your hardest to imitate Alicia just to get a hold of the sheer power of the Kevin Killer Mike 666. May, you really are one smart girl.
その通り
That's right. I never thought the unprecedented genius that is Velvi would leave behind such an amazing gift. Wipe out the entire realm with the click of a button. That's quite the invention.
だけど
But it seems
そ
you've
れが
got
ど
one
うした
thing
という
wrong,
の
May.
私は主導
I
権
didn't
を
want to
奪う
take
ん
that
じゃな
power.
くて
I wanted to create it.
確かにエリシアは
Alicia was all that
対
was
ケビン
needed
部
to
数を
activate
起
the
動さ
Kevin
せる
Killer.
唯一の条
Now
件だっ
she's
たけ
gone,
ど
and the only person who should
彼
get
女はもう
control it is me.
私はとても
I have
気が長い
patience
か
in
ら
spades. I'll
そ
take
の主
control
導
of a
権
little
を
at a
少
time.
しずつそこに至る
In
ま
the
で
meantime, I'll slowly
楽園
corrupt
の
every
一層
inch
一
of the
読
Elysian
一
realm.
中一名
And guess what sort of
その時
ending waits
私
when I'm
は
done with all that? Click. The Ferris wheel made a quiet noise and stopped. The sky became dark and ominous. This must be a lie. If it were true, why would she be so preoccupied with me? What is clear is she's afraid of a possibility that could put a stop to her. And if that's the case, now's my chance. To convince her that I figured out how to undo what she's done. This opportunity may be my only shot.
どうなの
Well, May?
黙り込んじゃ
Nothing to say? Thinking of a
ど
comeback?
う反
Or
論すべき
perhaps
か考えて
you
る
agree with me? I was just thinking, you really should delete Alicia's memory. Not to live, even just for your own sake. Data can't lie. You know that better than anyone. If you go through her life, you'll see. Even if you can replicate her look, her behavior, her every word, you'll still never be her. You'll never, ever be her. The Hersher of Corruption did not like that. The darkness enveloped them like vines creeping in the shadows. May slowly rose amid the darkness as though waking up from a long dream, which was an experience that had been etched into every stage of her life. A dull glow floated in the distance, like the remains of a soul. She reached out towards the light. Where am I? Remember being on the Ferris wheel, lunging at the Hersher of corruption, and then... Oh, look what you've done! Hersher of corruption. You don't need to be so defensive. To be honest, I don't feel like arguing with you at all. May, you're not dumb enough to try to pull some stunt at this height. I would prefer not to experience a fall like that twice. No, Elle. You must leave. There's spoilers. We're in spoiler town. Go play the game yourself. May looked around and instantly understood. And this is an island shrouded by mist. There's still visual spoilers. Yes, this should put an end to all your doubts. Wouldn't you say so? But as you can see, there's nothing here. I've had it in my back pocket for so long. And the answers you're looking for? I am certain they have never existed. Impossible. May, when did you begin to trust her so much? That's not like you. Well, you did say you didn't actually absorb Ellie's data. So... Did you not suspect that when she told you the truth, she might have been holding something back? I'll find the answer to that question in time. But now, no, not now, and certainly not with you. I know what you're after, and I won't give you the opportunity to learn more about her past. Faker. May, it hurts when you say stuff like that. After your last couple fights, I thought you were smarter than that. Don't take on an unbeatable foe. That's the key to survival, isn't it? Really, as I remember it, that's a strange conclusion to have reached. Are you really as infallible as you claim to be, Hersher of Corruption? Well then, if May wants to learn it the hard way, I'm happy to teach a lesson. I won't go easy on you. Cannot gain SP. No, but I want to use dragon. It's cool. I like the dragon. Also does a shit fuck ton of damage. Well, how about this? I've been doing that the whole fight, May. I don't know why you're acting like it's a big deal. Boom. Surrounded by lightning, the blow broke the earth in two, from top to bottom, leaving a huge rift from which icy blue data shot out. Oh? Like I expected, after all the corruption, the realm isn't as stable as it once was. Data space can be fractured with the right technique. Two can play this game. What's your point? It's got you interested all of a sudden. Hersher of Corruption blinked and was silent. That's a wink, not a blink. I always wondered what Kalpas had done to make someone as cautious as you want to come out in person. From what I know of him, he'll only take the most direct and effective method, violence. Your existence relies on the Elysian realm. Any damage it takes, you take, right? You figured that out from just our conversation? No wonder everyone says you'd make a better Hersher of Reason. I mean, the Hersher of Reason isn't about being smart. It's about being, like, tactical and strategic. They just also happen to, all three of them, be smart. All you need to make me weaker is to attack the realm. It's an interesting concept, only... She casually ran 3 fingers past her eyes, and the fissure simply disappeared. Blow like that probably uses 10% of your power, right? How confident are you in your strength, mate? Hard to say whose body will give out first, As the only thing in the realm that can't be corrupted, you ought to know exactly what kind of threat I am to you. Alicia's been gone for a while, and only half the flame chasers are corrupted. Perhaps you aren't as strong as you had thought. I don't know what it takes to corrupt a more resolute will. Maybe it's effort, or maybe it's time. Either way, it can't be easy. Not to mention, you took on Alicia's appearance. I'm sure it has been a double-edged sword for you, hasn't it? To make sure you and her are the same, you have to behave just like she would. Otherwise, you'd lose control of the Mark 666. And that's why you came to me first, to stall me, the only threat stronger than Kalpus. It's the only way to carry on your plan. Reasonable enough, but that's all. I guess I really shouldn't say too much around you. Things keep going like this. I've shown you my entire hand. But even if you did find more weak points, you can't stop my corruption of the realm. The gulf between us is simply too great. Perhaps, but I've accomplished what I set out to do. You're neither omniscient nor invincible. I'm satisfied having proven that much. You haven't noticed yet, have you? While we're talking, aftershocks from that blow spread all over the realm. There are certain 2 people here who must have gotten my message, and now they're on their way. A light appears in the distance. A dazzling white light that envelops everything. Yeah, that's why the screen's white, so you guys can feel the burning in your eyes. Good. Seems like I'm not too late. So let's start from the beginning. Hersher of Corruption. Bro, it's been a while since I heard Sakura talk. Well then, Sakura, do you still want to believe me like you used to? Please don't. Consider this my request. Alicia, is there something you want to tell me? The look on Sakura's face was hard to make out in the endless darkness. The silhouette of the weapon at her side was clearly defined. My concern is there shouldn't be any more need to use the 7 Thunders of Retribution here in the realm. There aren't traitors here. She was met with silence. After a short while, Sakura's voice rang out. I just want to confirm one thing, Alicia. After that, I'm sorry, I cannot promise what happens next. That's fine. I like chatting with friends. What is it you want to know? It's about a girl. I want to hear it from your own mouth. You might try to dodge, but you'll never lie, and only you can figure if it's right for me to be silent. She sounded eerily light-hearted. Those who have a habit of seeing the separation of life and death understand the more sorrowful the mourning, the more serene the mourner. Due to my experience before life, I have the greatest gap in my understanding. But we communicate so easily and get one another. Except for one thing. I keep having the same dream. An empty void, a young girl was sitting by herself, crying with hatred. Maybe because of my lack of memory, I can't recall who she is. Before I walked up to her, I wake up suddenly. I keep having this dream more and more frequently. It's been so long since I learned that Rin was killed by the Hersher of Corruption. She finally spoke. What do you mean? It's been so long. Sakura, you... Yeah. I've always known. Alicia's eyes grew wide. What? Since when? You never mentioned anything.
あなたそういうことな
Is
の
that
ね
how it is, Sakura?
さくら
Keeping secrets out of the
みんなが
goodness of your
善意
heart
で
just
内緒
as
にしてい
everyone
た
has done to
間
you.
みんな善意でそう
Not
していた
everyone
わ
has
け
good
でもなく
intentions. Everyone has a different
おのおの
opinion on
違
letting
っ
me
た
know
判
the
断がある
possible
はずじゃ
consequences.
じゃが汝の
And
よう
then
に
there are those that just don't want to hurt
単
me.
にわら
Like
わを
you.
悲しませたく
さくら
Sakura,
私
It's strange, isn't it?
いいえさくら意外だったわけじゃないの
No, Sakura, it
私は
isn't
ただ
strange. I
あ
just
なた
don't
にあ
want
ん
to
な
see you
辛い
have to
選
make such
択
a
を
painful choice
もう
again.
一度経験させ
その通
It
り
was a painful choice,
辛い
so
選
much
択
that I
じゃ
can't let go.
わら
And
わは
yet
そう
revenge
簡
has
単に
lost
受
all
け入れ
meaning.
られぬ誰に復
Who
讐す
can I
れば
take
よいの
revenge
だろう
on?
な
Those killers from 10,000 years
数万
ago?
年も前に死んだ
Aponia,
犯人
who's just a memory now?
エーデンは
Eden
願
always
わく
said,
ば
I
時
wish
が
this
止ま
moment
るよ
would
うに
last
と言って
forever, but it's me that
しか
wants
し
time
わ
to
らわ
stop
こそ
most.
誰よ
But
りも
beauty can
時を
live
止め
on.
たいとね未来へと足を
With the
踏み入れ
future,
る
everything becomes
すべ
chaotic.
てが混沌
Was
に
it
巻き込
moving
まれ
towards some
やがては
unpredictable end?
ある種の
Oh,
予測不能な結末へと
thanks for not
流さ
warning
れ
me
てい
about
く
the ad break. I'm gonna go get water. BRB? Whoop. Okay. With the future, everything becomes chaotic, always moving towards some unpredictable end. That's what Honkai is, in my
わらわ
opinion.
からすれば
Nobody's
崩
truly
壊と
made
や
a
らはそ
mistake,
のような
and
存
everything
在
is
し
lost,
わらわもまた
including me.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
本当は
I should have
も
noticed
っと
sooner.
早く。
エリシ
Don't look
ア
so
何時も
sorry,
そんな悔やん
Alicia.
だ表情を
I
晒す
chose to
必要
hide
は
it from
ない
everyone.
リン
Ren has been my
かつては
entire life for
長
so
い
long.
間
When I
彼
learned
女
what
はわら
happened,
わ
I
を
was
全てじゃ
consumed with hatred.
先ほど語ったこと
Everything I
は
said before was
どれも
useless.
役に
Even
立たぬ
now,
理
I
屈
can
でしかな
understand
い
it. I still can't
今になっ
stomach
て
it.
も当の昔に
I
復
lost
讐
the
対
object
象
of
を
my
失った
revenge
と
a
い
long
う
time ago.
衝
I'm
動
still
がもたらす
tortured by
苦
the
痛に耐え
impulse.
なければならぬ
Maybe only by exacting my revenge on everything like Calpus can I
戦
alleviate
後
my
のよう
pain.
に
けど、
But you
あな
didn't.
たはそういうことは
So you asked of
ウィ
LV
ル
to
ビンに
fix
そ
it
れ
and
を直
retrieve
し
the
ても
sealed
らったのは
memories? She looked down to Sakura's waist where the divine key
うむ
hung.
己を
I
解
tried to
放
find
する
answers
答えを
from it
求
that
め
would
たかった
free
の
me.
じゃ
But sealed by
しかし
discipline, I only
戒
remembered
律
the
に
time I
封じ
waved
られ
my
ていた
sword
の
against my own kind.
しかしここで
Instead, the
この奇
typewriter
妙
let me
なタイプ
experience
ライター
wonderful
を通
memories
して
that were never mine.
本来の己
Like
に
the
は
night
な
I
い
bid
記
you
憶を見られ
farewell.
たのじゃ
残念だったわね。
It's a shame.
もっと
We
早く
should
動く
have
べき
moved
だったわ。
sooner.
エリシア
Alicia, what if I told you
あ
I
な
was
たが
someone
隠し
hiding
事をして
something
いた
back
のは
then?
リンが火を追うがに連れて行かれる前に彼女を
I had a
連れ出
chance
す
to
こと
take
が
Rin
で
away
きた
before the moss got at her,
しか
but
し
she turned me down.
ど
What do
う
you
して
mean? How could that be?
わらわからすれ
Still
ば
a child in
彼
my
女は
eyes,
まだ
but in
子供じゃ
reality, it's just not true.
リンも災いに満ち
She
た
grew
世を
up
生きて
watching a
きた
world full of disaster.
己の置かれてい
She
る
was
状
aware of
況
her
を
lot,
すぐ
and
さ
more
ま
worried
理
about
解したの
herself
じゃ
even more than the moths.
リンは
She was
怖くて
scared, but thought the
仕方がな
moths
く
had
て
their reasons.
彼らが
She let
筋の
herself get
通ら
taken
ぬような行
voluntarily
動
so
を
as
取ら
not to
ぬ
put
と
others
信
in
じた
danger.
それと
And she believes
メイ
Dr.
博
May
士
will
は
make the
正
right
しい判
call.
断をするとも
As
信じてい
irrational
る
as Honkai is, we
崩壊という
humans
情の通じぬ
have the
存在があっ
opportunity
た
to
として
control
も
ourselves.
責任
Yes, Aqua, you're supposed to be
慈
lurking,
しみの心を持
not
って
actively
それを
watching.
人類は
By virtue of
必ず自分を
responsibility
コント
and
ロールでき
compassion.
すごい子ね。
She's a pretty great kid.
その時、
Back then, did
あ
you
なた
disagree
は
with
納
her?
得したの？
あ
Yes, that's
だ
why we
から
said
こそ
goodbye.
あ
And
の
everything
別
that
れとその
followed.
後の出来事があったのじゃ
Uh-huh, sure, Aqua. And everything that followed?
その記憶を
The
取り
moment
戻
I
した
found that
瞬間
memory, I realized
わらわは悟った
the girl in my dream wasn't just
夢
anyone.
に
It
現れる
was
少女は他でもない
thank you, Marine.
わらわなのじゃ
Myself. As she said this, a bitter smile spread across her face.
心の中に鳴り響
I
く
thought
苦
the
痛と
pain and
憎しみ
hatred was a
は
hole left
リ
behind
ン
in
が
my
そこ
heart
に
by
残した
Ben.
ものだとわらわ
But I
は
was wrong.
リンをずっと守
Like
っ
how I
ていたと
mistakenly
勘
thought I was
違いして
keeping
い
her
たの
safe.
と同じようにな
Everything had already changed when I
彼女
decided
の
to go
本心
against
に
her
背
wishes
き
and
救
free
おう
her.
とした時点で本当は彼
It
女
was
が
her
わらわ
keeping
を
me
守って
safe.
おっ
The
たのじ
person
ゃ
unable to leave is
相手か
me.
ら離れられなかったのはだからこそ
So, I
わら
cannot
わは
take
復
revenge.
讐わらわのような融
As a
合戦士が
mantis,
理
once
性
my
を失い
rationality
自
is
身を
gone,
制
so
御
is
で
my
きなくなれ
autonomy.
ば
The only ending left
いつ
then
しか
is an
似たような
existence no
存在
different
に
than
な
a
る結
Hersher's.
末しかそうなれば
Painting
リン
everything
が
Rin
頑張って
strove
証
so
明
hard
し
to
たことを
prove.
彼女
I cannot
をも
disappoint
う
her
一度が
again.
っかりさせるわけにはいかぬのじゃ
I can feel a sneeze in my nose. Okay. I decided no sneeze. Though she was skilled at hiding how she felt, she could not mask the hopelessness in her voice.
お姉ちゃん
I'm the oldest sister, after all. I
ちゃ
have to
ん
set
と
a
お
good
手本
example,
を見
right?
せんとな
さくら、
Sakura, you
Anata.
found it so hard. In a flash, Alicia understood the girl before her had never felt relief. During the 50,000 years she had spent in the Elysian realm, an unimaginably long, sad battle had been raging inside
ゆ
her.
えに
So, I
Alicia.
just want to ask you one thing,
わらわが
Alicia.
わらわは
I want
自
to
分
know
の
how it
本
truly
当の
ended
結
for me.
末をしリンの本心に背
After
くこ
going
とを
against
決
Rin's
意した
wishes at the end of my life,
わ
did
らわ
I
は最後に
finally make the right
もう
choice?
一度
She recalled how she defended the pride of being an older sister with her life, and how the girl chosen by Honkai had proven her resolution.
それならさくら、
Well then, Sakura,
昔のように
do you still want to believe me, like you
私を信じ
used
てく
to?
れる？
Clouds slowly drifted by, eclipsing the moon and causing everything to go dark for a moment. Alicia stepped forward and held Sakura in her arms. Sakura was quiet. Her body collapsed into Alicia, falling into her neck.
あなたたちは
You all did
最
what you
善を尽
could.
くしたわ。
Sinclair who let out the last cry, and then silence.
このことを教えてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for telling me everything.
こんな風に
I never thought
あ
you
な
would
たが
open
他
up
人
like
に
this.
自分の本音を教えてくれるなんて。
きっと
Maybe
何
it's
時が
because you
単
aren't
純
just
に他人
anybody.
といあるいは
Or maybe this is
これも
payback.
仕返し
Payback? Well, what did I do
私とも
wrong?
何か
いいな
I'm not
ただ
kidding.
の
In
軽口
fact,
じゃ
I'm still
実
hiding
はもう
something.
一夜叉の融合
Because
因
of my
子がある
fusion with the
ゆえ
Yaksha genes,
わ
I
らわは
perceive
気
scent
配に対し
differently.
て人一倍敏
This
感
ability
じ
is
ゃ
amplified in the realm.
さらに記憶が絡み合っ
In
た
this
混
place
沌
where
の領
memories are
域で
thrown
あれば
together, I
輪
didn't just
以内
capture
は
Rin's
つ
ending,
まり
but yours as
汝
well.
の
きっと美しい結
It's
末
quite
だ
a
ったわ
beautiful
よね。
end, isn't it?
いやわ
I'm
ら
not
わ
the
は記
memory's
憶の
owner,
所
but
有
I
者
can
で
pick
は
up the
ないから
scent of the
ね
subtle emotions of those
気配から
involved.
感じゆえに
And I believe it was a very beautiful end.
汝よりも
I
先に
truly
この世
regret
を
leaving this world before you.
いやすま
Sorry,
ぬ
forget about it.
変なこと
It
を
was a
口
little
にしてし
strange
も
to
うた
say
ら
that.
忘れてくれ
I just wanted to know if witnessing your end would make
汝
any
の結
difference
末
for
を
me.
目に
何よそれ。
Seeing you like this
私は
doesn't
人
make
を導
me
くの
happy
が
to
好
be the
きな
one to
タイプ
teach
じゃない
you.
わよ。あなたたちは
You will never
ず
change.
っと
That's
変
why
わ
I
らない。
like everyone so much.
そ
Absolutely.
れに
I
残
hope it
念と
never
は思う
happens
もの
again.
の実のと
Otherwise,
こ
it'll
ろ
be
そん
just
なこ
another
とは
thing
二
I
度と
cannot
ない方
face.
がよいそうじゃろ
What do you say,
Alicia.
Alicia?
エリシ
Alicia? There was no answer. Remembering what had just been said, Sakura turned away, thinking Alicia was making another one of her jokes. But now, aside from herself, no one else was there. It seemed impossible. Even if she was once an assassin, there's no way she could disappear without Sakura
オ
knowing.
待て
Wait,
Correct.
this... Chill ran down her spine as she picked up on a familiar scent. What place was this? In a daze, she began awakening from her nightmare and tried to resume control over her
あら
consciousness.
逃
Did I
げること
escape? How much time had passed? The memory of that threatening presence coldly clung to her mind.
あの後
What happened
何が起こ
after?
ったの
Did
じゃ
Calpus get my
Thank
message? She must leave this place. In the darkness, she gripped her weapon for reassurance, knowing she would slice in two anyone that tried to approach her.
慌てる必要はない
Don't panic, Sakura.
僕だ
It's me,
スー
Sue. Her senses were active once more. Before her was a narrow, closed-off space. With it, the memory was awakened. She had used Setsuna just in time to freeze space and barely escape through the fracture she had caused. Boundless darkness
こんなに
followed.
長く眠っておったとは
I can't
外は
believe
どう
I've
な
been
って
asleep that long. How are things going?
正直
It
厳
doesn't
しい
look good.
予想通り
As expected, the
この時代の
Zeratarcher of
侵食
corruption
の
has
律者
already
が
descended to the
古
Elysian
の楽
realm.
園に
Corruption. He said the word without any hesitation. And with that said, she was fully caught up to speed.
そんな
How?
道理で
No
気が
wonder
つ
I
けな
didn't
かったのじゃ
realize.
それで
And
Alicia.
Alicia? All she received was a sigh in
心
return.
得た
I see.
スー汝
Sue,
はどう
how
やっ
did
て
you
わらわを
find
見
me?
つけた
仙号が手がかりをく
Campus
れ
just
てね
tipped me off. He followed your message, but
君の
unlike
暗号を
me,
辿
he
って
didn't have the second divine
彼も
key to
ここ
cut
に
through
来たんだ
frozen space.
それと
So, Vilvi
Bilby
left
が
behind a
残した
message that
メッセージに
pointed to
も
your location.
君
ビルビー
Vilvi?
あ
I'm afraid
おそらく
she's
今
gone
頃
too.
彼
She
女
left
も
me a
すでに
riddle, asking about the safest place
し
in
か
the
し
realm.
君は
Your data
一度
showed
デ
some
ータに異
anomaly,
常
but
が
was
生
never
じていたものの
corrupted further.
さらなる
I
侵
think it
食
might
は
have to
起
do
こ
with
ら
the
なかっ
riddle.
た
汝の考
You
え
think
で
this space
ここ
is
が
the
絶
safest
対に
place
安
to
全な
be?
場所だ
何はとも
At
あ
the
れ
very least, the
実際に
suspended
君が
space you
作り出
created
した
can stop the spread
こ
of
の停
corruption.
滞
じゃがそれだけ
But
じゃ
that's as far as it goes.
汝はここを
Are you
避難
planning
所
on
として
using
使
this
う
as a
気なのじゃ
refuge? My sword technique can only stop
わ
corruption,
らわ
not
の
end
技では
it.
さもなくば
Otherwise, I wouldn't be like this. Her voice stopped short. If she was already corrupted, why would she have woken up at this moment? Sakura looked down to find the green haze that once surrounded her body was beginning to disappear.
スーどこにおるのじゃ
Sue, where are you?
汝の
I
姿
can't
が
see
見えん
you.
ぞ
僕はここにい
I'm
る
right
の
here.
ただ
It's just
もう
difficult
姿
for
を
me to
現す
appear
わけ
fully.
にはい
汝
What have you
わ
done?
らわに
I should
何を
have
したんじゃ
already been corrupted.
君と僕のデータ
I've
の
replaced
一部
some
を
of
入
your
れ替
data
え
with
た
mine. I hope this data
僕
will
を
slow
構
down your
成している
suffering.
一部の
じゃが
But that
そ
means
ち
you'll...
に教えるべきじゃ
You should have told me first.
僕は
I'm a
一人
healer.
の医者なんだ
Cannot help those that suffer
苦し
goes
む
against
人
my
を見捨て
nature.
ては
That didn't seem like a cure, but a bad
それ
trade.
に
Time is short.
も
I
う
couldn't
時
wait
間
for you
が
to
ないんだ
awaken any longer.
現状を打破するためには
Good
僕
night,
より
Duke.
も君が自
Your
由に動
ability
け
to
るこ
move
と
is
を
more
優先す
important
べ
than
き
my
だ
safety. Your skill at trapping
君の
anything,
あ
even
ら
if
ゆ
it's
る
just
存在を
Setsuna,
捉
is
える
enough.
能力これを持っていくんだ
Take it, Sakura. Amid the light, Forget-Me-Not's mask was returned to its owner.
戦後が君のためにずっと残しておいたもの
Kalp
だ
has kept it for you up until now.
今こそ
Now's
返
the
す
time
時
to
だよ
return it. Sakura took the mask, and a faint heat stung her fingers. She knew this feeling too well. In the years she served the cocoon, that fiery man burned his heat into the hearts of others, as with the heat lingering on this mask. She opened her mouth slightly, but did not utter a sound. At long last, she murmured 2 words.
心得た
I understand. And they were enough. She put on the mask and reached for the weapon worn at her waist again. That warmth had gone, leaving only a piercing chill.
ではわら
What
わ
do
は
you
何
need
をす
from
れば
me?
いい
ビルビーの残した
With
策だけ
Willoughby's
ど
final gambit, a
3
3-part
つの仕
riddle.
掛けが
つまり
It is the
一
same
つの
riddle,
問いに
but with
答
3
えが
different
3つあるん
answers.
じゃな
あ
The answer we came up with
さっき言った
was
答え
just the
も
first part.
その
The
うち
two
の
are the
一つにし
key.
たからさくら
So now I need you to reveal the
君に
second
は
answer, Sakura.
そのために
The only way to do
僕た
that
死に直面
is
し
by
なければ
facing
ならない
death. It's very bright. The flashbang.
前のあれを手合わせというには
What happened earlier was too implausible to be called a fight.
じゃから
So, let's start over, Hersher of Corruption. Sakura. Oh, must it always turn out this way? I wanted to keep you out of it because I care about you, Sakura. It's not just her look. Her personality's becoming like Alicia's. I mean that in a bad way. First I was surprised, but now I get it. She's after Mike 666, the Kevin killer. She has to become Alicia to control it.
なるほど
I see. It is something for the curtain call. Is it something for the curtain call?
今の状況は
Sue's
スーが
data
送ってきた
lets
デー
me
タ
know
があ
what's
る程
going
度
on
把握
here,
できる
but it will take me some time to fully understand. Data? You mean Sue is...
こうなった以上
What's done is done.
彼の決断
I
を
have to
信じ
trust
る
his
しかない
decision. Besides, isn't he known for being wise? Sakura looked again at the uncannily familiar face.
今のところ彼女のような存在は一体しかいない
She's the only one like herself in existence, right? It looks like she's having trouble maintaining this state.
となれば
And all we have to do is keep her here. If we cut her off completely...
えーっ
So sorry to interrupt, but I overheard you two whispering.
ここには女
It's
の
rude
子
to
が
leave
3
people
人
out
も
of
いるのに
conversations.
一
Besides,
人
you're
だけ
getting in
仲
the way
間
of our
外れに
dates,
するなんて
Sakura.
よく
Oh, this all seems pretty normal to me.
意外だ
Uh-huh. I'm surprised
そ
you're
んな経
experienced in
験
the
があった
matter.
なんて
Later, you'll have to tell me all about it.
聞かれたところで問題はない
It's fine if you overheard what we were talking about.
も
It's
と
not
より
like
こっ
any
そ
of it
り
was
する
secret
必要な
anyway.
どデートに関しては
And as far as dating goes, I'm sorry, but you're more of an old friend to me. Sakura?
うーん
Oh, how direct. I like you even more now than you were
あの夜のあなた
that one
に
night, Sakura. Finding her of that night caused Sakura to
彼
frown.
女の喋り方で
Don't say
そ
that
のよう
with
な
her
ことを
voice.
口にする
相変わらず頑張
Decisive as always. What did Aqua do this time?
彼女ってそんなに
Is she
特
really
別な
that special to you?
代
So
わりになれ
special
る
that
存在はいない
no
っ
one
て
can replace her?
そこまで
彼女と親し
It's
い
hard
も
to
の
say.
はわらわ
I'm
だ
not
け
the
だ
only one she's close to.
何
But
時に
you
そ
won't
れ
have
を
enough
証
time
明
to
する
find
時間
out.
など存在
It's
する
almost like every member of the team really likes Ellie or something. Weird. Did you get gifted more stuff? Let's go see. Oh. Did Aqua do some other shenanigans that I don't know. I don't know. Gambit and Honkai? And? Got your wife? She laid her hand on her weapon and began emanating a certain aura. The aura of an assassin.
できれば彼女の顔を見つ
I
め
don't
な
want
が
to
ら
have to put this blade up
こ
to
の
her face.
刀を使いたくはなかった
あ
So that's how she had felt at the time. I finally get it now. Even though you unfairly misunderstand me, I still am not cruel enough to want to hurt you. Maybe we'll have to ban Aqua, since now I've got Telema and now they also have the Fuhua that is eluding both of us. We've been here before. What makes you think you can change anything now? Last time you got away due to your unpredictability, but I know about that now. Even Setsuno wouldn't capture the fleetingness of that moment. Momentary extreme. It's not so hard staying out of your reach. It seems like you're having fun. So, you really don't want to think it over again, Sakura? I'd hate to see all of your hard work get wasted. As her tone changed, something strange sounds rang out from all over. Monsters summoned at will had begun gathering around them. Oh cool, I get to play as Sakura. Trying to keep us apart, oh no! Oh, I don't use Sakura that much. Rawr. Yeah, that fight looks really silly, from an outside perspective. Yay, I did it! I killed the thing! We'll have to fight us yourself. No, she fucking won't. I'm sure she can pour more shit out of her ass. Is this the fate I must suffer as Alicia? I've been nothing but sincere from the outset, but you still want me to prove it. And not just prove it, but prove it with my life? Tell you the truth, the reason I'm staying out of this battle is because I just can't be bothered. It's not like you'll believe me anyway, so why should I try and prove myself? Besides, whose life should be used to prove I'm serious? It's not the best way to phrase that. Can I please get out of the corner? trying to destroy the crystal thing. How are things, Sakura?
おそらく今は
Not going great would
楽
be
天視で
generous.
きない
While they whispered, she kept her eye on the Hersher at a distance. She seemed completely at ease without a thought of her opponents escaping or striking back.
彼女の
May,
話
she
はお
wasn't
そらく
lying.
嘘では
Just
な
on
い
the power level
残りの
alone.
英傑たち
If
全
all the
員
other
がこの
flame
場にい
chasers
たら
arrived, she'd still be
一
able to
斉
crush
に
us
潰
all.
せる力を持っておるようだ
Then it might be best to retreat. Sakura, go find Epona. You can resist her corruption, so I'll buy us some more time.
実力の差が
The
こう
gap
も
between
開
our
いた
power
だけ
wasn't so large.
確
Maybe
か
we'd
にそ
stand
れ
a
は可能
chance.
じゃ
But as it stands, she's powerful
ど
enough
うやら
to
彼
take us
女は
both
メイド
on.
の
Originally
元
wanted
か
to
ら
take her
我
by
らは不意打
surprise,
ちを
but it
仕
looks
掛
like
け
we
る
have
つ
no
もりじゃ
choice but to fight her head on.
以前も言った通り
And
我
did
ら
I
は
have a sword technique that
空
can
間を
freeze
超本
space?
質上破壊力
Not
は持って
destructive
お
on
ら
its own, it can give us an
その力を
opportunity
利
to
用
land
す
an
ること
attack. Sakura, with just one hit.
心得てお
I
る
know. Which is why... Aqua
何時に第
giving you
三
the
の
third
神の
divine
鍵を
key.
渡す
Seven Thunders of Retribution?
何時も知っている
So you
よ
know, it's just the
楽
reappearance
園
of
に
a
あるの
memory
は記
here.
憶の再現に
But
す
in
る
your hands, it may be bonded to the core of a true
何
Hersher.
時な雷の律者
The
が
Hersher
最
of
後の
Thunder,
鍵
the
を
key
使
of
って
judgment,
必
can
殺の
destroy
一
its
撃を
enemies.
放つそのために
To make this work,
共
we'll have
に
to work
必
together
中
to
のチャン
ensure
ス
the
を
blow
作り出さ
lands.
ねば
おや
Are you two done chatting?
デートの邪魔を
My
され
date
たの
is
は
clearly
私なのに
ruined, but to leave you
二
two
人っきり
alone,
の空
that's
間を
enough to
残
make
さないと
even
い
me
けないなん
upset.
てさくら
Sakura, what you two said, you
本
wanted
当
me
は
to hear
わざ
it,
と
didn't
私
you?
言ったはずじ
I
ゃ
already told you it
聞かれ
doesn't
てい
make
て
a
もどうという
difference.
そう
Yep, doesn't matter if
なん
it's you
だ
or
か楽
May,
園
the
にい
girls
る
here in the
女の子
mountain
って
are always up to
みんな
something.
絶対とすると
So what is it you're hiding?
本当
That
に隠
technique
した
that
い
can
ことっ
freeze
て一
space?
体
How you
何
make sure it doesn't fail?
ああごめんね
I'm so sorry, Sakura, but
さ
you
くら
have the
は刹那
inscription
の
of
命を
Setsuna.
背負ってたんだっ
I might
け
not be able to avoid it.
もしかしたら
必ず当たる
I
保
don't know
証
for
な
sure,
ど
but it never hurts to try. She slowly raised the tip of seven thunders of retribution.
神の鍵
The divine
彼
key.
女た
They
ち
didn't swap
武
weapons.
器をこう
She looked beyond Sakura and saw May standing in place as if she were waiting for something.
私の推
Is
測
this
通
what I
りか
think it
な
is? It's a clever
だと
strategy.
すると
What a shame.
いいよさくら
Alright, Sakura, show
存
me
分
what
に
you've
楽し
got.
ませてもらうそれじゃあ
Well, should we begin?
メイドのしばらくは戦いには参加せず
Save your
力を
strength.
貯めて好機を待つのじゃ
まったく大声で悪巧みするのやめてくれないこれ以上戦ったら泣くからね力がなくなるわよこの花をありがたく受け取ってちょうだい
Fight me like a real elf. Fucking
あ
fine.
れさくらまだいいタイミングを見つけてないのかなこうしているうちにチャンスはどんどん逃げていくけどこれ以上戦ったら泣くからね消えよ
I didn't want to use it on that. Thanks.
汝の弱点を見極めるなど決して容易なことではあるまい真正面から速さで勝つことが全ての要小細工など通用せぬ
What the?
その通り刹那とのスピード勝負なんて面白いね前にも一度見たことはあるけどやっぱりワクワクしちゃうよこれ以上戦ったら泣くからね
I'm sure the words that are being said in Sakura's brain are very, very nice and emotional and shit. but I cannot understand what the words are, for I do not speak Japanese or Chinese. Assume you're not excited about the sword play, but our helplessness.
私はそんな意地悪な人じゃないよ。けど、
I was
こんな
reading.
時でもあなたを褒める言葉が見つかるなんて、本当に賢いのね。
よかろう。では、参るとしよう。
そうだ、さくら。あなたの技って自分なりの名前をつけてないの？使い道で呼んでるだけじゃ言いづらそうだけどね。
暗殺者にそのようなものは無意味じゃ。
Sakura's voice. It came from behind her. Damn. Cracks began to form across Sakura's body, starting from her mask, and the distance may also began to break into pieces. Fight 7 thunders. You're too late, Hersher of Corruption. They're both really fast with their swords. If you're really that curious, let's call it Setsuna Blade Mumyo. Behind Mei and Sakura, the Hersher of Corruption was frozen along with her surroundings, unable to move. How did you? It's tough to pretend I'm surprised. Sakura, you're really something. I didn't know you were so good with a sword. Considering it's her main weapon, it would be weird if she wasn't good with the sword. By switching identities with Mei, you were able to take me by surprise and freeze me. So, without even communicating at all, I'm a bit jealous, really. But my focus is always on you. If I can avoid the sword that freezes space, 7 thunders of retribution is nothing to worry about. And now you've lost your only chance. Sakura. Though it wasn't obvious, Mei recognized the dark green color that began spreading from Sakura's arm. That attack, did it make contact? Don't be too surprised. Sakura's very fast. I had to take a little risk to catch her. I'd say it was worth it. With that said, the corruption began to spread. It's just a bad move, right? That's right. Why does it seem like you're still hiding something? When I learned about the plan, some parts seemed a bit needless. But now I see, he was right all along. Perhaps you're a bit too confident in yourself. You're able to see through our illusion, but you missed something else. The Hersher of Corruption sees through illusions. My sword techniques aren't capable of that. The only ones that are capable of that in the realm are the 8th Divine Key and a Psychic Mantis. The first time, the Hersher of Corruption's eyes grew wide in genuine surprise. Psychic? Here? Warm light filled her shocked gaze. It emerged from Mei's body and engulfed her. You see, this battle was never a 2-on-1, but rather a 3-on-1. Sumeru. The rending feeling of crossing space in an instant was spreading throughout Mei's entire body. Mei tried to open her eyes for a moment and was forced to close them again due to the light. Sue? It's me. So, this was the plan all along? Sakura offered her support so you could get me away from the Hersher? Seems like you get the gist. Surround the space Sakura had opened. Let Sakura go into battle while I waited here for an opening. Kobe set it up, didn't she? That's right, she left me a riddle with 3 answers. In it lay the key to defeating the Hersher corruption. Do you think there's a place that's perfectly safe in the Elysian realm? I thought about it. No such thing can exist with the Hersher of corruption around. So? May recalled the sharp pain she'd felt in her head and knew the answer. A place that doesn't exist. That's the answer.
あ
That's right. It works as
そ
three
して
different answers.
その
Led
答
me
え
to the
が僕を
frozen space where
さくらの
Sakura
居
was
場所へ
hiding,
と
which was the
導いて
first
くれた
answer.
そして二つ
As
目
for
な
the
んだが
second, it's up to me to
そ
find
れ
out.
は僕に残された役
And
目
that
だ
will
った
require me to take on death
それ
directly,
をこ
just
な
like
すには
Sakura.
そして
Final
三つ目
third answer, which is the most
同時
critical
に
one.
最も鍵となるものについて楽園にあ
The
る
absolute
絶
safest
対
place
的
in the
に安
Elysian
全な
realm,
場
which is
所
both part of the realm and
要
outside
する
it,
に
is
来訪者
your mind, visitor. My mind? So that's what Lily meant. Because of my power, the Urge of Corruption can't corrupt me. This could extend to space. It would be free from corruption as well. That could allow a counterattack.
その通りだ
That's right. But how?
元は
I should have been
ア
taken
ポニ
care
ア
of
と
by
僕
both
が
me and
やるべき
Aponia,
ことだっ
but
た
now it's up to me alone.
ビルビーは君の思考の中に螺旋の刻印を残した
There's the steeds from
それを
earlier.
ビーコンにして
Oh.
僕は
Vilvi left a signet of helix in your mind. I'll use it as a beacon. Perform the surgery known as
を再
SO1129.
度
That's for creating a sim.
古の楽園が
Just
で
as
き
when
た頃
Elysian
に
Realm was
英
first
傑たち
completed,
が
I
や
will
っ
let
てい
your
たよ
mind
うに
develop like the flame
君の
chasers.
思考を記
There in
憶
the
体
form of a sim.
記憶空
No,
間と
a
いう
memory
形で
space.
そうすることで初
Only
めて
then can we
僕た
welcome
ちは
Elysia back. So, the key to winning is still marked 666, right?
あ
Yes, everything has to be
今
made
ま
to
での努
regain
力は
control
全
of
て
it. It's the
そ
only
の
way
主
to
導権
defeat
を
the
奪い
Hush of
返すため
Corruption.
のもの
There
だ
is no other way. Then no matter what, there can only be one ending, right?
来訪者
Don't be concerned,
出
visitor.
会った頃に
As
伝
I've
えた
told you
よう
when we
に
first met, we are but
僕たち
shadows
は
of the
過去の
past.
影
This land is only
この
scraps
片
of
隅の
past
天地
scenery.
は王子は消え去り
Past has
個人
disappeared,
も
and
帰っ
those
て
who are
こない
gone will no longer return.
存在がないな
How
ら
can you disturb the
邪魔もないだろ
non-existent?
う
If you asked Alicia or Eden, they would have
エリ
given
シ
you
ア
the
や
same
エデン
answer.
に
You'll see them
も
soon.
うすぐ彼
So
女たち
smile.
に会
This
え
is
る
what they wished for too. Okay. I understand. SO1129. Alicia said it was an experience similar to riding on a roller coaster but eating peanuts with her eyes. I'll find out if she's lying right away. Is the girl I'm about to meet the same girl I know?
強く信じてい
As
れ
long
ば
as you have faith, she
彼
never
女
did
が立
leave.
ち去ること
Faith.
記憶体の誕
Just
生
like the
と同
birth
じ
of
さ
every memory replica, all your
記
happiness,
憶空間
sadness,
が展開され
meetings
る
and
とき
partings will be used to weave an
君の中
immaculate
にある
world
喜怒哀
where you
楽や
expand your memory
二号集
space.
散だから
So recall,
思い出すんだ。
recollect every memory you spent with her,
彼女と
every
過ごし
bit,
た時間
for every bit
彼
of
女がもた
change
ら
she
した
brought
変化
about.
君の記憶で
Pave your way to using
彼女へと
your
つながる
memory.
道を開くたとえデータが
Even
隠
if
滅
data has
して
been
も
erased, memories will leave
記憶が不滅の痕跡を
ineffable
残してく
traces
れる
behind.
これを持っていくん
Take
だ
it with you. Pass the blue crystal flower in his hand to May.
残りの2つは
Eden will
エデン
give
が
you the
君に
remaining
渡
two,
4つの鍵
or keys that were sealed in a single
それら
episode
で
of the past.
とある昔の
Page
出
that
来
you
事を封じて
should
い
have
る
flipped open is
そ
now.
れを君の記憶の
Let
中
it
で
blossom again in your memories. Of course. You know my answer.
答えなど
You
分
know
か
my
っておるぞ
answer.
まさかあなたがここを
So
訪
did
れ
you
た
come
唯
here
一
solely
の
to
目
be
的
corrupted by me?
汝のことじゃ
Even Sue can't be
旋
certain
回一
whether
条
you
が
can
起動
notice
し
the
た
moment
瞬間
Cosmic Juggernaut
それに気
activates.
づき止めに来
Stop
る
it
こ
with
と
your
だって
powers.
しかし
But even you would
強
have to
力
use a
な記憶
considerable
体
amount
を
of
相手に
effort to
侵
corrupt a
食を
strong
行う
memory
際
replica.
そうなれば
In fact,
あ
you
の
won't be able
全
to
能に
keep up
等
with the
しい状
seemingly
態が維持
omnipotent
できな
state
く
for
な
a
るじゃ
while.
それゆえに
That's why Sue
ス
welcomed
ー
death
が
from
わ
my
らわに求め
request.
たのどうやら賭けに
Looks
分かっ
like
たようじゃ
her
ね
gamble paid off.
さくら
Sakura, sometimes I really can't
特
understand
に理
any of
解
you.
できなく彼女をここから
You
出し
just
てあげ
want
た
to
かっ
see
た
her
だ
off.
けな
No
んで
need
し
to
ょ
put up an act of trying to
私
defeat
を
me.
わらわはすで
It'd
に
be suspicious if I let you touch me easily again after I'd
そう
already
簡
made a
単に
mistake
再び
before,
接
no?
触できた
You went around.
随分
You
と
sure went
回り
around in
く
a
どい
big
こと
circle.
けどさくら
But Sakura, do you
あな
really
たは
know
本
what you're
当に
doing?
逃げられたという
You
の
could have
に
escaped, and yet you
再びここ
deliberately
に
came
戻っ
back.
てきた
Did you go through that grueling battle only to sacrifice yourself?
構わぬ
Doesn't matter. I've already had that sort of
すでに一度
experience
体験し
once.
た
Oh, it's because of my identity as the 12th Herrscher.
第彼女とは別の存
Although she
在
and
だ
I
けど
don't share the same
私
existence,
を
but you
通
want
し
to
て
use
過去に
me to give closure to
決
the
着をつ
past,
けたか
don't
った
you?
の
わらわはただ
I just wanted you to prove some things to me, but it seems like
とあることを証明
there's no
し
need
た
for
かっ
that
ただけ
anymore.
証明
Proof? I truly regret leaving this world before you. Sorry, forget about it. It's a little strange to say that. I just wanted to know if witnessing your end would make any difference to me. The words she had said just recently resurfaced in her memories. I didn't at all. My end did not change even after witnessing Alicia leave. But, indeed, she also said this to me. I like everyone so much precisely because none of you have ever changed. Come, Harsher of Corruption. Your hands. Use my death to prove that she was the one who was right. She had already used all her trump cards. The land that she stood on would undoubtedly become her grave. But before that, I have a request. Speak. It's possible. Please give me a more painful death. Do your best to make me feel desperate, remorseful, and helpless. Only then will I know how incompetent I have been. Man, Sakura's so cool. Only then will I know how I kept my pride as an older sister till the end. Sakura, you still haven't let go? I have not and never will. Perhaps the change she brought herself was the chance to stay immovable, unchanged from the start. Even so, you still wish to stand here and resist me. Don't you want to listen to the voice in your heart telling you to live on? She answered by slowly raising her blade. I do not, and never will. Damn, that's crazy. Rip. Oh, look, a bunch of eyeballs in misty areas. The last dance is about to take place. Follow your heart and set forth. Okay, but what if I wanted to go back to the title screen because I had shit to do, game? I hate when it does that. It's like, no, you must continue. But what if I can't? What if I have things to do? How? Just like we intended. I had let Kevin retreat. His strength became a part of you, just like two pieces of bubblegum merging into one. Tell me, how does that feel? It's definitely surprising. It's hard to believe that a human could achieve such high aptitude. It's Kevin, after all. Alright, down to business. Seems like you don't trust me very much. Raiden Mei is only a Hersher. Oh, that's rude of me to say. Both of you are of the sun kind. Anyway, I know why you're striking at her now, but I alone should be enough for it, right? The reason is simple, Velby. This look you have when you pretend to be ignorant of my intentions catches my attention. Oh, is there an interesting hypothesis indeed? A Hersher that cannot be corrupted in the ability to partition the mind. Are you worried that he'll join forces with her? I said no such thing. I only wanted to help you. No, you're right. She and I may use Sue's and Eponia's help as well. We definitely have a chance to create a domain and render your ability to corrupt useless. But you worry too much. After all, she is a Hersher. I need her consent before I can partition her mind, but that's impossible to get. Plus, once we do that, the Hersher of Thunder will be like a memory replica. She'll lose the very trait that makes you helpless against her. Do you think she would take up such a suggestion? Is convincing her a difficult feat for our colonizers? Grave expression began to cross Philly's face. So you refuse to let me act alone, even when you have my life in your hands? Because I care for you. Seems like my understanding of you was off the mark. You once said that you only defeated Alicia unintentionally because you were in a panic frenzy from feeling threatened. Back then, I thought it was a reasonable explanation, but now I can't help but suspect. Are you sure that it wasn't intentional? The rush of memories stopped abruptly. Not because she was limited in power, but because she was getting increasingly frustrated. Nothing has changed. No matter how much human emotions she may gain, she's ultimately a form of virus. I'm afraid my powers are ineffective. She lowered her head to look at her hands, full of self-loathing like in the past. Help us use this life to ensure that I could touch the Hersher of corruption more. Yet I can only investigate her memories. Is there no way for me to communicate with her consciousness? Now as the most peculiar individual in the realm, Apponia was constantly providing information to the surviving flame chasers through her touch. Sakura's innocence, the emergence of the Hersher. Nice! You got hoodie, Kiana. Flowing hymns spread the memory, the truth of the cataclysm. Flowing hymns spread the memories she could touch to every corner of the realm, till they reached her ears. There's only one person, in reality and in the realm, who could achieve this unaided while corrupted. Through her touch, she could face the Hersher of corruption head-on and pursue her deepest thoughts in a way she was most familiar with. She had already acknowledged that Hershers simulated human minds. Even if Data were unable to defeat them, it was possible for their souls to be broken, just like humans. Just like the 8th Hersher from the past. If I can interrupt her consciousness, I might be able to lead the way. But how much time do I have left? Who's knocking over the empty soda cans? Huh? I think they can already break in here. Have they grown again? Ah! Game.
結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。採血の意向は降臨した。心と体を私に任せなさい。徒労に終わるよ。結末の余韻に耳を傾けよう。
Looks like it takes way more energy than I expected to enter the corruption. Or did I take too long? Using her unique characteristic in the realm, Apponia made 2 decisions after being corrupted and halved her energy to proceed with both ideas simultaneously. One was a form of connection with the Hersher of corruption's consciousness. One was to form a corruption and reconstruct it like she had tried when she was still alive to neutralize the danger. Another was to slow the corruption down and maintain her control over Data using her powers of mental perception. This was the only way she could convey any information obtained to everyone in the realm while investigating. But now, I'm running out of time. Are both ideas going to fail? She sank into hesitation. From her past attempts, she knew that she could no longer balance between the 2 methods. She had to place all her energy on the path with a better chance. Yes, it is impossible to conclude which side has a better chance. If I allow the corruption to fester, maybe I can dive deeper into her consciousness. If I am unable to find an opportunity to reconstruct her mind, it should be a meaningless sacrifice. Yet it's also possible to yield nothing if I continue to read the Hersher's memories here. Is this how it feels to make a decision without knowing the future? Yep. It's been a long time since I last faced such a situation. Times like this, I'm even weaker than the average person. That was true. She ironically lacked experience in such common scenarios. But at the same time, she mostly felt comfort in her heart. Even though she didn't know what future awaited her, she still felt that doing this was meaningful. Alicia, is this also what you wished for? There was not enough time. Then let's do this. Oh, what we doing? It's box. Come forth, Harsher of
侵
Corruption.
食の律者
Please come into my arms.
私の懐へ来てください。ここなんだね。
Is this it?
戦後
Help us.
どうして
Can this be?
Data
Does she imprison
略奪
every
した後
existence deemed valuable here?
価値の
After
あ
their
る存
data has
在
been
を拘
stolen?
束してるの。戦後
Help
おっ
us.
と
Huh.
やっと
You're
来たの
finally
か
here,
アポニア
Aponia.
俺を助けに
Have
来
you
てくれ
come
た
to
の
get me
か
out?
あなた
You.
この話し方は
This tone. No, it's not him.
彼しかし
But
どうしたんだ
what's wrong? I thought you'd be happy to see me.
ここは本当に
It's quite
面白い
interesting here, but I've had enough. Get me out of here
それもここ
quickly.
まで
彼の喋り方
Why does he speak a little like
なぜか
Alicia?
もしかしてこれは
What
残
if
さ
this
れた
isn't
意
his
識では
preserved
なく
consciousness, but rather a fake,
侵食の律者
reconstructed by
が
the hush of corruption
自
based on
分
her
なりの解
understanding?
釈でも戦後
Help us. Didn't
あ
you
なた
come here willingly?
自ら
Willingly. Still have
俺
so
に
much
は
left
ま
to
だ
do.
いや俺が永遠にここ
Why
に
would I
残
stay
る
here forever?
やりたいことなんて
Things left to do. Compass, do you
Single.
still have plans that I don't know of?
計画
Plans? Does that sort of thing require a plan? Just get me out of here and
俺たちで人類を皆
just
殺
kill
し
every
にす
human
るんだ
alive and wipe out their selfishly ugly, arrogant, and useful existence. How about that?
聞いてるだけでゾ
Sounds
クゾク
interesting,
する
right?
もういいよ
That's enough, Harsher of
侵
Corruption.
食戦後は私の友
Compass
人
is my friend. If you want to announce your victory,
勝利
you
を
can use
宣
other
言したいのな
methods.
そのように侮辱
I
す
won't
ること
allow
は
you to humiliate him like
許
this.
さない
侵食の律
Harsher
者
of Corruption. What are you talking
何を言っ
about?
てる
Isn't it already
とっく
been
に
sealed away in a
箱に封じ
box
たじゃな
long
いか
ago?
俺だよ
It's me,
戦
Compass.
後だ
Look at my face.
顔をよ
Don't
く
you
見てみろ
remember me?
俺
何かがおかしい
Strange. This isn't the Compass I know, but it isn't the Harsher of Corruption either.
私の知る戦後では
And
ない
it's this town that belongs to
しかし
Alicia.
一体
What exactly went
何
wrong?
がウィルビー
Sylvie, so you've also...
あなたも あなたもここに
You're
来
here
たの
too!
また
It's
エリ
Alicia's
シア
turn
の
again.
喋り方どうしたの
Why, is something wrong? Come over here. I'm so worried about you.
いえ
It's nothing. I just didn't know you'd keep this carefree attitude of yours.
まさか
Have you forgotten?
忘
For
れて
here,
いる
it
の
means that we're already dead.
そんなわけないじ
How
ゃ
can
ない
that be, Aponia? If that's true, how can you be standing here before me like
あら
this?
もしか
Why,
し
are
て
you feeling unwell? An ordinary tone, except this was clearly Vilvi, not
ウィ
Alicia.
ルビー
Vilvi, even though it wasn't a
天
genius
才の
move,
することに
but to
は
my knowledge, you've
聞こえないかもしれない
also chosen to sacrifice yourself to go against the Harsher of
私
Corruption.
の知る限りでアポニア
Don't make
冗談
jokes
は
like that,
許して
Aponia. You and I can get
さも
upset
ない
if you
と
continue.
それって
It's the
私
thing
が
I
一
hate
番嫌う
most. How
こ
could I
とじゃない
possibly have done that?
嫌う
Hate? Did Vilvi harbor such
犠牲に対して
animosity towards sacrifices?
そんなそうなの
Really?
けど
But your death was a meaningful
あ
one.
なたの
Perhaps
死には
it's the key to turning the
確か
tables.
に私は受け入れら
I
れない
just can't accept it, meaningful
意
or
味なん
not.
てだって
Because to
他
some
の人に
people,
とっ
this
ても
also hurts them
それ
deeply.
はあまり理解できな
I
いから
don't quite understand. Can you tell me more? Be a bit
詳
more
しく話して
specific.
うーん
Although I'm just protecting
他
my
人の気だって
beliefs.
みんなのこと好きだから
After all, I love everyone,
それに
so no matter how
どんな
noble the
崇
cause
高
may
な
be,
目的が
I
あろ
prefer
う
if
と
everyone shares this every day of their
みんなには
life instead.
みんなの笑顔が
That
消
way,
えないこ
everyone's
と
smile wouldn't disappear.
私にとって
That's the most important
それ
thing.
がどうやら全
Looks
て
like
の
Alicia
鍵
is still
は
the key to everything.
未だエリ
Would
シア
she
にあ
be
る
here? Yeah, that totally sounds like something the fucking Phil V would say. Ain't no Alicia. She's right. Why would someone
So-
uncorrupted appear here?
けど
Every trace
こ
of
こにある意
consciousness
識
here
は全て
displays Alicia's characteristics.
まさか私の
Could
考
it be
え通
just
り
as I
なの
thought? Not just her looks, actions, and speech.
彼女の容
Even
姿
her emotions have been taken away by the
Purina.
Hersher of corruption. That was clearly unacceptable. So, the corruption she
英傑に
took
対
from a
する
flame
侵
chase
食
was
は
done out of love.
彼女は嘘をつ
She
い
did
てい
not
ない
lie. When we gave up everything and fell to our deaths,
全てを誰かに
she
決
was
戦
really
を仕
just
掛けた
trying to
時も
save us in her own way. The truth was no longer important. That was true, then her failure was indisputable. She had wanted to reconstruct the Hersher's mind through a certain turning point and change her behavior. But if she did it out of love, and even if that love has long been misplaced, how can she be turned around?
私は
Am I still powerless? She couldn't help but imagine a future where the Hersher of corruption had succeeded. Everything outside ceased to exist, and only a concept named Elysia stayed in the world,
同
eternally.
じ思いを抱え
And
な
they
がら
start with the same objective, but reach completely different
全
ends.
くけど
But that's definitely
So
not the future that
just-
Elysia wants.
私は
I can't stop here. Huh? She had a sudden realization. It's the thing I hate most. How could I possibly have done that?
違う
No.
エ
It's
リシア
impossible
があ
for
んな風
Elysia
に
to
強
voice
く
out
拒
such a
む
strong
なんて
rejection.
まさか
Was I wrong from the
こ
start?
こは
Is this not the Hersher of Corruption's
侵食の
mind?
まさか
So,
あなただった
so
なんて
it's you.
あなただったなんて
I'd never thought that it'll be you.
ここは
This is not the
リツ
Hersher's
ィアの
mind.
心の
It's
中
your
では
domain.
聞き慣れた話し
That
方
familiar tone doesn't belong to
エリ
Elysia.
シアのものではない
Belongs to your usual imitation. I'm overjoyed to meet you here,
メビウス
Mobius.
私の
I'm the one who should be
そ
making
んな
that
表情
expression.
あなた
Don't you think you've kept me waiting for a little too long?
もしかして
What, you can't possibly
本当
believe
に
that I'll
私が
disappear without a word
あん
like
な
that,
風に
can
あ
you?
そんな風に思ってた
Someone
人が
really
いた
believed
な
that, then they know nothing about you.
となると
Then I now understand.
なんとな
With
く
Calpus and Vilvi,
分か
I
った気
saw
がする
really are.
メビウス
Mobius, was your experiment a
あなたの
success?
何
Why,
そんな
is
に
it
驚く
surprising?
必要
つまり
So am I.
Ah,
Your last line of defense.
もし
You
事
can
態
only
を収
confirm
められ
the
な
need
く
to
なった
release it.
私が
The situation got so
侵食を
severe
受けて
that I can't handle it and the
ここを
corruption
訪
started
れ
to
れ
spread
ば
here.
あら
Oh,
あなた
do you
から
really
見た
see me as
私
such a
って
cautious
そ
person?
んな勝手に思い
Don't
込
think
ま
too
ないで
highly
ち
of
ょうだい
yourself,
アポ
Eponia.
ニー
I was only willing to
今
wait
まで
because
あ
I
な
still
た
have
を
use
待ち
for
続け
you.
そう
Really, as I am now, what can you
今
use
の
me for?
私に何ができ
Enlighten
る
me.
か
防壁を破
Break
っ
the
て
barrier and connect
楽
the
園を
realm
現
to
実につな
reality,
げるの
Eponia.
アポニー
Then, send me to where
そ
Klein
して
is.
侵食の律者
Under
の
the
支
Hersher
配
of
下で
Corruption's
そん
control,
なこ
only
とが
you
でき
can
るのは
accomplish this for me. Only you can accomplish this for me. Mobius had never held others in such high regard, which gave away the crisis the genius was in. Her judgment was entirely correct. At this time, when the realm had been completely corrupted and Vilvi had gone, the only possibility of breaking that barrier lay in herself. In the dying era, she chose to merge her mind with the realm, and thus she was nigh omnipotent in this world. However, their enemy was from the outside of this world. To fight it, they naturally had to resort to a power that was equivalent to the world itself. But that meant she must blend Eponia's everything. But if Mobius's plan did not succeed afterward, it would be a meaningless sacrifice. Okay, should be an break coming up soon. So I'm gonna BRB, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Up. We are returned.
何？今
What's wrong?
まだへりく
I already
つを
come
こね
down
る
to
つもり
this.
な
Don't
の？
pretend to be reluctant.
いいえ、
No, I just
私は
don't
た
know
だ
how I can thank you. She answered with a relieved
戦
smile.
後が立ち去
When
った
Kalp
時
was left, I promised him that I
約
would
束
redeem
し
the
た
sin I'd committed then. Thought that I would have
自
to
分は
go back on those
あの
words.
時何せ
In the past,
あれが
only
世に
came
現
to
れ
this
たの
world
は
because of me, after all.
私のせいだ
But
か
this
ら
time,
メビウス
Mobius, you won't let history repeat itself,
私た
right?
ちには
当たり前でしょ。
Of course. I'm not
私
like
は
you.
では
Then I'll
望
do
め
as
ば
I'll
まま
do
に
as you wish. For no reason, Ponya recalled something. For me, nothing existed in this world. Whatever can last for eternity is settling inside my body. When she bid that world farewell, she swore to use her body to carve the whole of that person into history. Yet her body was about to crumble. But the thing that could last an eternity shall return because of their prayers.
勝てない敵？
An undefeatable enemy. Let me
なら
give her an
同じよう
equally
に
undefeatable
勝てない
opponent.
彼女とあいつ
Don't you want to know if she's
どちら
stronger
が
than it?
強い
I
か
can't wait to
見て
find
みた
out.
い。
ええいいでしょ
All right. And then light burst out. Like a newly hatched butterfly that rose from the depths and fluttered towards the bright
叶う
horizon.
のなら
If you can, please apologize to it in my stead.
かつての
To the former
第
12th Hersher.
12律者へ
私はこいつをメビちゃんって呼ん
I
でるん
named
だ。
it Little Moby. Very
彼の
affectionate
名前
name,
がメ
isn't
ビウ
it?
ス博士のように
Imitation of the
驚
12th
きと
Hershers,
喜び
just
を
like
兼ね
Dr.
備えた
Mobius, full of
第
fun and
12律
surprises.
者の模倣
She
品
only
さ。
managed to complete it and even hit it
彼
here.
女しかし残念な
Oh,
こ
what a
とに
pity, nothing can hide from the
この魔術師
magician's
の定眼
eyes. Sylvie lightly held a small black cube between her
現
fingers.
実では
They
こ
had a
の
big
こと
fight
で
over
大喧
this.
嘩したの
How
に
will
ね。
Dr. Mobius finally understand?
いつにな
As long
った
as
ら
I'm
分か
around,
って
her
くれる
title
ん
as
だ
the
ろう。
owner of the realm is only
このビル
ornamental.
ね。
Don't you
私の
agree?
言う
It's
通り
another
でしょ。
surprise that she'd personally created. What do you
カゴズ
think?
マ
Cosma? She looked the other person in the room from the corner of her eyes.
それは
It depends on whether you
俺
can
の要
accept
求を
my
飲めるかどうか
request.
による。もしメビウス
If
で
you
さえ
can
で
do
き
what
な
even
かったこ
Mobius
とを成
cannot,
し遂げれば
you're naturally more outstanding
自
than
然
her.
と
おや
Oh, that's
断り
definitely
難
a
い値
tempting
段をつ
offer.
けでも残念
But
なことに
unfortunately, I'll just be honest, I can't do it.
それは確かに面白い考え
That
だよ。
suggestion is truly interesting.
思考分
Partition
割
the
で
mind and leave
自身の意識を
one
独
part of
立
your
したパーティ
consciousness
ション
in
に
an
保存する
isolated
ことで
area to slow
過
the
重長編による意
overmetamorph
識
effects
へ
on
の
your
影
mind.
響だけど
But in reality,
実
the
際の
rational
ところ
part of
は
your consciousness
理
cannot
性
be
の部分
awakened.
の意識が目
Tried
覚めない
something
の
similar
さ。
before, and Mark V was created
似
as
た
a
ようなこ
result.
とは君も見たように
As you can see, she's not
あれが
exactly
親
very
しみやすい
そう
personable.
か
Okay.
スーを訪ねて
Perhaps
みた
you can
ら
try your luck with Sue
あ
or
るいは
Ponya?
すでに聞いた
Tried, and they gave me the same answer
答え
you
はあんた
gave.
と一緒
Huh?
私って
Sonia
3
third
番目
choice
だった
after
の
Ponya?
それも
Alright. The young girl shrugged. Although her disappointment did not show on her face, she still seemed helpless.
その要求
I'll do it. Now that's a good
そう
expression.
その表情
I hope you enjoy your work stuff, or at the very least, doesn't make you crazy.
さっきまで自
You
分
just
には
said
で
that
き
you
ないと言っ
can't
てい
do
た
it.
仕方ないじゃない
I can't help it. You and I can get a little competitive, knowing that I'm not your first person to look to.
それに
And when I say I can't do it, I was referring to
他
something
の
else.
君の仮説は
It's not
別
that I
に
can't fulfill your
実現
request,
でき
but
な
I'm
いわ
not
け
sure
じ
if
ゃ
I'm
ないよ
determined enough to
私にそんな覚悟が
kill
あ
a
るかどうか
comrade myself.
回りくどい話し方は
Don't
や
beat
めて
around the
それだよ
bush.
それ
This is why you're more suited to be an assistant rather than a spectator.
さてと
Let me think. Where
ど
should I
こから説
begin?
そうそう
Oh, I'm sure you've heard about the
楽園で
consequence of a
記憶体
memory
がもう一
replica
人の
killing
記
another
憶
in the
体を
realm,
殺した
haven't you?
俺の知る限りでは
From what I know, it won't make a difference.
その通り
Normally speaking, you're right. To the importance of the Flame Chaser's memory replicas, they create backup in the
そ
realm
の重要
once
性
every
ゆえに
4.1 seconds.
死者となっ
For
て
the
も
dead, after their
データ
data
が
has been
復元
recovered
され
from
る
those
ことで
backups, their
記
memories are
憶の
practically
損耗は
unaffected.
つまり
In other words,
一
they
度
might not
死ん
even
でも
realize that they've
その
already
事
died
実に
once.
しかし
With your
君の
idea,
仮説から
things will be
考えれ
completely
ば
different.
両者の間には
Seems that between those two...
やっと気づいた
Have you finally noticed?
君の過重長
Cannot
編
refers
は
to the progression of
家
your
庭的には
over-metamorph
暗躍なんだ
effects. To you, it's more like a form
君
of
自身に
continuous
とって
decay.
だから
Therefore, you cannot solve the root of the problem by partitioning or using backups as replacements,
ただ
unless
他人よりも多くの部分を
they give up
切り
more
捨
than
て
the
るな
others.
その通
That's right. Of course, I
り
can
私な
partition your
ら
mind
もち
and
ろん
save
思
what you
考だ
have
けを分
now.
割しもしある日
For that, if you ever
君が
lose
と
yourself
ある
because
選
of a
択
certain
によって
decision
自
one
我を
day,
失
you'll be
っ
able
た
to
とし
return
て
as
も
a human with your death and
君は
backup.
殺しばけど
But the
代
price
価と
is
して
you'll lose
その間
everything
に
you
経験した
experienced during
全
this
てを失ってしま
experienced
う
in this
不
duration.
和のようにか
Just like Hua. They shall sit up straight, like an adult.
全く違
Not
う
at
よ
all.
不破は記憶を失っても
Although Hua
経験
lost
した
her
全て
memories,
が
his
その目に
experience still
残
have
るんだ
traces in
た
her.
とえ記憶になくてもずっ
Even
と
though she
所持
doesn't
したま
remember
まな
them,
んだ
she
よ
still has them. For you,
でも
once
君
you've
の場
made
合
this
は
decision, you're
一
bound to
旦
lose
決めたら
everything you
そ
experience
の後の
after.
つまり
In other words,
思
from the
考が
moment your
分
mind has
割さ
been
れた時点で
partitioned, what's left of
体
you
に
isn't
残っ
quite
た
alive
君は生
anymore.
きて
どちらがいいか天
I'm
秤にかけた
picking
と
between the lesser of two evils
そう
again.
いうことか
そうだよ
Yes, to live as a
人間
human
と
with
して
nothing, or to become a
手ぶらで
monster
生き
along
る
with
か
everything you have one
それ
day.
とも
Give it
自
some
分の
thought.
全て
It's
を持っ
truly a
たま
difficult
ま
choice. The young girl paused, worried if what she was about to say was too
だ
apathetic.
って善を尽くせることなんて
After
あ
all,
りえないから
you
ね
can't have the best of both worlds.
強いて言えば
In fact,
害
you're
を
more
被
likely
る
to lose
結末
on
を
both
迎え
ends.
るか
害を被む
Lose on both ends? Are there concerns
計
that I
画
don't
に
know
は
of in
俺
this
の知らな
plan?
いような
ムーの事件以来
And then that time in
過重
Moo,
長
you've
編を
never
完
fully
全に
unleashed
解
your
放したことは
overmetamorph,
ないん
right?
でしょ
I don't know if we have the power to kill you in that
私たち
state.
それで
So, you
検
use
証でも
trial.
したい
そうだよコズマ
Yep, you know, Cosma.
すでに決めたならケビンを呼ん
You've
で
already
きて
made up your mind. Get Kevin to come over here.
君は今日死ぬことで
You can only live forever if you die today. Damn.
安心してさくら
Don't worry, Sakura.
私がまだ死
As
な
long
ない
as I've
限り
not died, you can live on forever. Despite how everything seemed to contradict that statement, it wasn't a lie. She was going to end everything before her out of a learned love. With a long sigh, all of Sakura's data was finally taken by her. Sakura's very last moment also passed, never to return. After she calculated the time she needed silently, the Herrscher of Corruption did not move. Instead, she leisurely began to create a perfect illusion for Sakura. Hello, Thwagon, welcome in.
元気な妹
Your sister safe and sound in a world without Honkai, in an afternoon when cherry blossoms bloom. Didn't take much of her time. Just like every other flame chaser, what Sakura really wanted was very simple. In the era they lived in, anything more than what they wished for would seem too unrealistic. Yet they could not even achieve those simple things.
ねえさく
See,
ら
Sakura, don't you think it's much
こうや
more
って生きる方が
humane to live like this?
あ
I don't get it. Since we're both
ー
Alicia,
本当
we
によ
both
く
want all
わ
of
か
you
ら
to
ない
survive.
自分も含めた
You're
全
just
てを守
sacrificing
りきる
yourselves. Fusing together will protect
自己
everything.
犠牲よりこっちの
Claim
方
you
が
achieve the
善を
best of
尽くしたと思
both
えるのに
worlds. Why must all of you be so stubborn?
さて
Okay, to
さっき
make
した
sure
こ
that
とが
everything
無駄
I've
に
just
なら
done
ない
isn't
よう
in
に
vain, Sakura, I have to
Sakura.
make haste too.
私も本来完
I
璧である
shouldn't
ため
admit
には
this to
認
sustain
める
this
べきではない
perfection,
けど
but
確かに彼女
they
の
are
推
right.
測通り
There is
そ
definitely
の
a
手を
method.
使
That
っ
is
たら
definitely a method that can
私
kill
を
me.
消しでも
But don't worry, I
心配
believe
する
we'll
こ
be
とは
fine.
ない私は
Did you get your wife?
私たち
Yeah,
ず
congratulations,
っ
wife
と悪役
obtained.
を演じるのも疲れるしたまにはヒロインとかも演じさせてほしいね
Yeah, wife.
あれ楽園の防御機能がまだ動いてるでも残念今はじっくり
Why are you just
つけてあげ
spamming
る
this
時間
button?
はない私の気持ちちゃんと受け取ってね
Jesus.
お花をあげるわややはやせいメイもうすぐ
Now,
追
May,
い
I'm
つく
catching
よ
up to you. Just as she entered that door, an abrupt rush of sorrow crashed into her, almost pushing her to the ground. How can this be?
どうなっているの
This feeling is... Strongest existence in the Elysian realm could barely keep herself together because of this sudden pang. But this emotion didn't belong to her. Is this Alicia's emotion? What happened? As an omniscient being, she immediately knew why. An enormous bird cage shot out of the ground, trapping her and the others inside.
あなただったんだ
So it's you.
コズマ
Cosmo, are you making the
あ
same
なたも
decision
戦
that
後と同
Compass
じ選
made?
択をするの
You'll give up everything just to go against me? She seemingly recalled something, stopping in her tracks as she began to browse through Vilvi's data. For you, once you've made this decision, you're bound to lose everything you experience
で
after.
も
But Cosmo, you ultimately chose not to
あの
petition your
時あな
mind
たは
then.
ここで過重
If
徴
you
兵を
unleash your
解放
overmetamorph
すれば
here, nothing will remain
あ
of
なた
you.
に
Wearing Alicia's usual smile once more, she walked forward again. To her understanding, Alicia would never let herself wallow in sadness if she wasn't alone. The sight before her was also just like she imagined.
一番
Must
遭遇した
Must
く
what
な
I
かっ
hate
た
to
事
see the
態が
most happen yet again?
それとも
Or can you
あ
give
なた
me
から
another
もう一つ
answer?
コズマ
Cosmo?
無駄口は不要だ。
Enough talk,
一
Kersher.
ここはあんたの狩り
This
場
will
な
not become your hunting ground.
随分と冷たい
What
呼
a
び
cold
方だ
way
ね
to address me. Have you already
私
heard
につい
about
て
me?
私が
Including
勝
how
てない
I'm
存在であ
undefeatable?
ることその表情
Looks like you
どうや
have.
正面から立ち向か
Since
っ
you
たと
know
ころで
that you don't stand a
何の
chance
勝
against
算
me
も
head
ない
on,
でもあなたもま
are
た
you
便
also
利チャ
here
ン
to
ス
try
を
to
作
create an
ろうと
opportunity for me?
試し
試しなどではない。
It's not just a
こ
try.
こからは一歩も
I'm
進
afraid
ま
you
せ
won't
な
be
い。
taking a step further, Hersher of
あなた
Corruption,
が倒れるまで
until you're completely defeated. The young man nodded. This again.
また
Never
こうな
mind
る
if
ん
it's
だ
someone
ねコ
else.
ズマ
Cosmo, from what I know about you, don't you find the act of
いわゆる自己
self-sacrifice
犠牲に
absolutely
対して
unacceptable?
今まさに
Now, are you really alright with doing it
否定
yourself?
的
Unacceptable.
そんなこと。
I've never thought that way.
いいよ
Alright, although
あ
I
な
really
た
don't
にあ
want
の
to
ことを
remind
思
you
い
of what
出させ
happened
る
that
つもりは
time.
それより
But it's more
あなたを
important
無
to
駄
stop
死
you
に
from
させな
dying
い
in
ことの
vain.
無大陸での出
You
来
never
事
forgotten what
忘
happened
れ
in
てない
Move,
よ
right?
今のあなたみたいに
Just like you, to
他
create
人
an
にチャンスを
opportunity for
作る
someone
ため
else.
に
Crusader's
グレーシュの
father.
父を甘いお口にして
You
も
don't
いい
mind
で
if
し
I
ょ
bring up his name, do you?
勝手にしろ。
Go ahead.
彼女の父親であ
Father
るコン
Atta
は
made a decision that seemed like he was picking the lesser
被
of
害
two
を天秤にかけた
evils
ように思える
and
選択を
easily
行った
sacrificed himself.
同時にあなたも害を被ることとなった化け物になっても
And that was also what made you lose everything. He unfortunately turned into a monster, yet he still could not save his own companion, who was a mentor and a friend to him.
ほら
Think of how you
あの
felt
時の
then.
気持ちをもしあなたが同じこ
If
と
you
を
let
繰り
history
返し
repeat
てしま
itself,
えば
you'll be pushing the
あの
agony you
時の
felt
痛みを
back
他
then
の
onto
誰かも
others.
大中立者と違
Like
っ
the Ninth
て
Hersher, I'm not some villain who will leave you with no
私は
choice,
そんな余地のない選択を
alright?
確かにそうだ。だが、
Indeed,
今に
your
ついての
perception of
考え
Atta
は
was
全
far
て
from
間
the
違い
truth. Cosma, you don't have to force yourself.
別に思ってもい
I
ない
mean
こ
what
と
I
は
say.
初めからコンは
From the
害を
start,
被って
Atto's decision
ない
was not choosing between two evils,
彼は
but
善を
rather
尽くした
betting
だ
the
けだ。
best of both worlds.
彼が俺に唯一の
Precisely because he
方法を
found
教
the
えてく
only
れた。
solution for me, that I can stand here before you now, do what I'm supposed to do.
どういうこと
What happened?
コ
Cosmo's
ズマの
person
性
thought,
格と考え
personality
方
and
が
thoughts have completely
全
changed.
く別人のようになった
But he didn't partition his mind.
冗談はここまで
I'm
だ
not
よ
playing
コズマ
around, Cosmo. Just take this as a plea, alright?
ここで決着をつ
To
け
me,
たと
there's
こ
no
ろで
doubt who will win in
私
this
には
fight.
何の問題もない知ってるはずだよ私が相手ではビルビーが言ってたバ
You
ッ
should
クアッ
also
プ
know
の
that
効
those
果は
backups that LV mentioned are ineffective against me.
自分がもう一度
Don't let yourself lose on both ends
そ
again.
れ以上話すな。
Enough
分
chatter.
かったよ
Alright then,
ここ
although
に
I
来た
knew
時点
what
で
I was up
向
against
き
when
合
I
う
came
者がい
here.
ても
Still an insult. It's
本
not
当
supposed to
に
be the
皮肉
villain,
だ
yet
ね
I'm forcing all of you to live again
私
and
は
again.
悪役
そう思うのも無
But
理
of
だ。
course, Hersher of Corruption.
何しろ俺の方が悪役に見えるからな。
Big. He became Big Boy.
結局
What
こう
ended
なっ
up
てし
like
まうんだね
this?
どうしてそこまでするのコズマほら見てみてそんな姿じゃ話もできないよ
Look, boy makes his choice.
外の世界を見てみたいと思わないの見られないわよ本物のケビンとグレイシュが外であなたを待っているよ
How do you know that Chryseo's still alive? She could have died.
私泣いちゃうわよ
Lots of things happened while we were in here.
お花をあげるわやっはあやっやっやっはあやっやっ
Wow, she has a lot of SP.
侵食が遅くなってる。コズマ、あなた。コズマ。
Cosma, so this
そ
is
れ
what
が
you're
本
really
当の
after.
単純に過重長
It's
編
true
の
that
状
simply
態に入っ
unleashing
て
over Metamorph to
力
enhance
を
your
増幅
powers
させても
makes no
私
difference
に対して
against
は
me.
けど
But is
リスヌが
Vishnu's
持つ
instinct
鈍
to
性の
devour
本能
also
は
effective
侵
against
食にも
corruption?
効果があるの？
I have not beat the game,
つ
no.
まり初めからあ
But
な
we
た
are
は
fighting as the bad
自
guy.
分を飲み込んでい
Which
るんだね。
means, since the beginning, you've been devouring yourself.
いいえ、
No,
効果を
even though
緩
it
め
does
ら
have
れ
a
たとし
delaying
ても
effect, it cannot stop
本
me
当の意味で
completely.
私を止める
From
こと。
the interference of such a special trait, the corruption process became impossibly slow. Despite the exorbitant amount of time she originally had, there wouldn't be enough if she got held up here. This was an insufferable
エリ
risk.
シア、
Alicia, if it were you,
あな
what
た
would you
なら
do?
どうするの？
I mean, probably not murder her friends. It was just a passing thought that she did not further entertain. Undoubtedly, there were differences between the both of them that could not be overcome with data. She could not give herself an accurate answer to that question, even if she worried over it. But there was something that she could not overlook. She did not even hesitate when she made a decision that the real Alicia would never
コ
make.
ズマ、私を許して。
Cosma, forgive me.
愛するみんなはすでにこの体内で
Everyone I love has
永遠
already
と美しい
attained an
命を
eternal
手に入れ
peace,
ている。
perfect life within
こ
me.
のまま放っておけば
If I let all of you
彼
continue,
らを
it'll
もう
be
一度死
equivalent
と
to
いう
killing
窮
them
地に
again. This is how it feels to like to choose between two evils.
天
At
秤
least
に
now
か
I
け
can
る
feel you. This is the path
Oh,
you've
no.
chosen. She finally decided to use the ability that she had only used once, despite how it could easily resolve everything. Now that the realm's backup mechanism had been corrupted and damaged beyond repair, doing this would only yield one outcome.
ごめん
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
ごめんね
I didn't want to do this.
けどみんなのために
But
も
for everyone's sake, I can
私
only
はあな
delete you
たを感
completely. Well, this is certainly a decision that'll make you more like Alicia. I promise. When everything is over,
約束しよう。すべてが終わった後にコズマ、
Husma,
あ
I'll
な
do
たを
whatever I
もう一
can
度
to
再構
recreate
築
you.
すると。
Uh-huh.
Yeah. コズマ、そんな削除は確かに完了しているはず。
Oh no, the plan was foiled!
そういうことか。データは確かに消えている。でも削除による結果とは限ら
Because
な
the
い。
data has disappeared doesn't mean it's been deleted. Yeah, no shit. That's what you tell. That's why you remove things more completely when you have sus things on your computer.
やっぱりそっくりそのままだ。
Didn't anybody ever teach you about that?
桜のおかげで全地ではなくなっていた間に私はいろんなことを見逃してしまったようだね。じゃあ気をつけて。私はもう誰かを傷つけたりはしたくないから。
Evidently, the Sarah would have missed if it wasn't aimed at Cosma, who was an over-metamorph. was aimed far too haphazardly, as if it had given up on itself. Yet that meaningless attack made her giggle knowingly.
そろそろ出てきてくれない
Alright,
か
come
な
out now. I haven't agreed to be your
私はあなたの
model. The world before her eyes tore away at a corner where the arrow had landed, not unlike a spark landing on
ど
paper.
うりでコズマの性格
That's
が
why
変わってし
Cosmo
ま
had
ってい
changed
た
so
んだね
much. That's why he could fight me even
彼
though
の
his
デー
data
タ
had
は最
disappeared
初か
from
ら
the start.
なるほどね
Because Cosmo has
Cosmo.
only become one of your paintings.
そうだよね
Isn't that so, Griseo? What a plot twist!
そうだよコズマ
Yep, go now, Cosmo.
Suddenly
If you've already
Kevin
made up your mind,
ケビンを呼ん
get
でき
Kevin to
て
come over here.
君は今日
You can
死ぬ
only
ことで
live forever if you
永
die
遠に
today.
生きる
After a long silence, there was still no response heard in the workshop.
そうだね
True, you don't need to
確か
make
に
your decision
す
right
ぐ
now.
実のところ
In fact, the
思考
later
分
you
割を
partition your
行う
mind,
の
the
は
better.
遅ければ
The
遅いほど
later,
い
the
い
better.
思考分割し
The
た時
moment
点
you
で
partition,
君の
you
人生は
partition your
固定
mind, your
され
life
る
is set in stone.
リシュヌに
Vision
よっ
gave
て
you
付
the
与され
ability to
た
grow
無
endlessly,
限
but
に
its
成
side
長する
effects
特
can
性
only be neutralized when you
そ
give
の
up on
副
the
作用
growth.
はその時間を後
The
回し
later
に
you
すれ
do
ば
it,
す
the
る
more
ほど
things you can
残
get
せ
and
るもの
retain,
も
no?
多くなる
だが
But
これまで
this entire time,
Orega
have I really grown
hontou-
at all?
私もそう
I
自
also
分に
asked
問いか
myself
けた
that
ことが
before,
ある
and
わ
I'm afraid the answer is in the eye of the beholder.
そうなのか
Okay.
頼み事を撤回したい
Take back my request, Filthy.
Bilby.
I don't intend to partition my mind
そうよ
anymore. Oh? For a person who had always aspired to be a hero, this was a truly surprising reply.
君もまた
Do you also
持ってい
think,
るもの
like
全て
Kevin,
を
that it's
背
more
負うこと
important
が
to
大
carry
事だと
everything
思
you
うの
have
か
with
い
you?
誤解だビルビ
You're
ー
mistaken, Filthy.
俺はも
Long given up on
う彼み
becoming a
たいな
hero
ヒー
like
ロー
him.
だ
But just a moment
さっ
ago,
き
I
もう
thought of
一つ
another
のそれ
idea.
は
An idea that can achieve the
善は
best
尽
of
くす
both
ことが
worlds.
できる以上が
It's
あんた
also
を
why I
訪ね
came
た
to
理
look
由
for
なん
you,
だ
Hua.
クワ
コズマ
Cosma?
成功しましたか
Did it work? Slightly concerned voice brought him back from his thoughts. When he opened his eyes, Eden had already left, but Hua remained standing next to him.
少なくともおかしな感
At
覚はない
least I don't feel anything wrong. He raised an arm to demonstrate to the other two people. It had already been corrupted recently when he had tried to use Vishnu's ability to devour anything to consume the monsters that the Herrscher of Corruption manipulates. That was a long sentence.
本当ですね
Indeed, there's never been an
以
instance
前
of
は復
recovery
元で
before
きるケー
this.
スそうなると
So is it really
ビシュヌ
feasible
の
to use
特性を使って
Vishnu's special
自身の
trait to
侵
devour
食
the
された
corrupted
部
part
分
of
を飲み
yourself?
込む
あ
Yes,
あ
but
し
it
かし
comes
代
with a
価がないわ
price.
けで
侵食を受ける前
Does
と
it
比べ
take
れ
more
ば
energy compared to
力
before
が
you were
消耗して
corrupted?
るんです
その通りだ
Yeah, albeit
わずかで
minutely.
はあるが
But I have devoured a part of
自身の
myself
一
after
部が
all.
飲み込それに
And if it's caused by the
もし
Herrscher of
律者
Corruption,
自
I'm
らが
afraid
侵
I
食
can
を
only
行
slow
っ
it
た場合
down. It'll be
おそらく
impossible
遅
to
らせるこ
recover.
とは
では私
Then
たち
we
は
can only rely
本
on the
来の
original
計画
plan,
を得る
huh?
彼女をエリシアに近づ
To
けさ
prevent
せ
her
ない
from
ため
getting
に
any
も
closer to Alicia, we must
本
use
来の計画
the original plan?
グレーシュ
Griseo. This was not the first time Griseo had joined their conversation since Hua had brought news about the Herrscher of Corruption to the two others. For this, she was only speaking to Eden about something and displayed an uncaring attitude to the situation at hand. In fact, she was unable to understand what a Herrscher really was. When she was involved in a similar situation in the past, she was merely a weapon with no will and had no need to understand the circumstances.
大人の話をしているん
This is
だ
a conversation among adults. You can continue
大
painting.
人
Adults? She looked at Hua and Cosmo with suspicion, seemingly showing her disapproval. Thankfully, just as always, she was very obedient to the young man who acted as her older brother or even father figure.
さて話を
Alright,
続
let's
けよう
continue.
本来の計画
The original plan you speak of, does it include Griseo? Yeah,
なら断らせてもらう
then I decline.
雷の律者
If
の
it's
ため
only
に
to
時
buy
間
time
を
for the
稼
Herrscher
ぐ
of
だけなら
Thunder, we have other ways to
他
do
の
it.
手段
What ways? You said it
先ほど
yourself.
自身で
Against the
言って
Herrscher
い
of
たように
Corruption, even you
侵
can
食
only
の
slow
律
it
者が
down.
相手それに
And
も
after
しそ
she
の過程
notices
が
that
か
the
なり
process
長
is
引くと
taking too
悟ら
long,
れ
she
たら
might choose to delete you
彼
immediately.
女そうなってしまえば
In that case, even
侵
slowing
食を
it
遅
down
ら
would
せ
be
ることでさ
meaningless.
え
誤解しないでくれ
You're mistaken. Just a
実は
moment
さっき
ago, I thought of another
も
idea.
しそれは
An idea that can achieve the
善を
best
尽
of
くす
both
ことがで
worlds.
きるこのやり方でも
The idea also
同
requires
じ
us
よう
to
に
use
第八の
the
神
eighth
の
divine
手が
key.
必要となる
I need you to
あんた
save
は
someone's for me.
侵食の律者ですか
Do you mean the Herrscher of Corruption?
わかりました
I know.
うん
Huh?
コズマ
Cosmo, are you done with the
大人の
conversation
話は
among adults?
まだだ
Not yet, but this
Da.
time I need you to give me a hand.
今度は
Promise
グレ
that
ー
I
シュ
would
に
tell
手
you
伝
what
って
I'm
もらい
doing,
たい
what I'm
古
going to
の
do.
楽園に
A terrible person has
悪い
appeared
奴
in the
が現
realm.
れたんだ
could only defeat her using your
嬉しい
powers.
悪いやつ
Terrible person. Do you
ナイ
need
トさんに
Mr.
手伝
Knight's
って
help?
もらう
彼の手を煩わす
We
必
don't
要
have
は
to
ない
trouble him. Cresceo, you just need
グ
to
レーシュ
paint
は
like
い
you
つ
did
ものよう
before.
だだ
But it'll
少
be a
し
little
違ったか
different.
と今回は
Can you
俺
not
の
use
色
my
を使う
colors
ぜ
but still paint what I tell
言
you
う通
to?
り
ダメだよ
No,
コズマ
Cosma.
色がない
Not
と
colors. It'll be really
不格好
ugly.
に
大丈夫だ
Don't worry. I
俺と
all is well. We'll help you.
ふわ
なら
Then, alright.
コズマは何を
Cosma,
描い
what do
て
you
ほ
want
し
me
い
to
の
paint?
まずは
Let's
少
start
年
with a
の絵か
portrait
ら
of a
始め
young
よう
man. She lowered her brush, while ultimately could not hide the hint of unwillingness on her face. Stared intently at the brush in Creseo's hand, as if its every stroke would bring a frightening
彼
disaster.
は
He should be
痩せ
really
っぽち
thin,
で
but
小
just
柄
like
だっ
every
た
other boy, he wants to become a hero.
彼は8歳の頃から
He was 8, he'd already begun
弱
to
きを
commit
助け
heroic
強きを
deeds.
くじきそれを繰
He
り返
wanted
す
to
ことで
chase after his aspiration this
目標に
way.
向
待ってコズマ
Wait,
その
Cosma,
物語
how do
は
I paint out these stories?
うーん
Relying
そうだ
only
な
on himself to gather evidence and intervene in the
たっ
bad
た
guy's
一人で
plan?
勝
Young girl shook her head.
それだと
That has no
画面が
imagery at
思
all.
う
He should
全
be
身タイツを
wearing a
着て
skin suit running along the eaves under a moonlit night. Alright, let's paint
思
as
い
you
浮かんだも
suggest.
のを彼はいつも
During that time, he always
善を
wanted to
尽く
achieve
そう
the
とした
best of both worlds, and indeed,
そして彼の
everything
思
went
惑通り
smoothly as he wished.
何事もそんな日々が続いていったんだ
Until a companion of his, who was a mentor and a friend, met with grave
窮地に
danger.
陥るまでは
仲間
Companion?
どんな風に
How
描け
should
ば
I
い
paint
い
him?
そうだな
Maybe like a father
お
figure.
父さんみ
A
たい
father?
な
Oh
感じ
wait,
その時
that time he had to give up his life to save many others
ほぼ勝てないような強敵に遭遇したんだ。
against a practically invincible enemy.
もちろんみんなは
Of
それを
course, most people thought that he
利
chose
害
the
を
lesser
天
of two
秤にかけた
evils,
結
that
果だという
it was the rational and right
け
decision.
ど
But the
そ
young
の子
man
は
couldn't accept
納
that.
得
ああ
Yeah, he believed that it was because he wasn't strong enough.
二度とこんなことが起こ
So
ら
he
ないよう
willingly
にと
turned into a monster to prevent
自
such
分を
things
化
from
け物
happening
にしてま
again,
で悲
but
劇を止めよう
it
と
was
した
all in vain.
必死にあがいても
He struggled resolutely, but
利害を
whenever he
天秤
chose
にか
between
けた
two
結果を
evils, he would
よ
ironically
り
lose to
最悪
both.
な
コズマ
Cosma, I'm not sure how to continue if you phrase it
ま
like
た
that.
どう描けば具体的な
Do you
場
have
面
a
と
more
か
specific image in mind?
ああ
Yes.
命の灯火が
As he
最果
approached the
てへ
end
と
of his
たどり着い
life,
た
he
時
faced another completely unacceptable
彼はとあ
dilemma.
る任務を命じられたんだ
He was assigned a task to board a huge
世界の
spaceship and leave
終
the
焉を
Earth
前
before
に
the
した
world faced
人
an
類の新
annihilative
たな希望を
crisis,
探すために
search for new hope for
つ
everyone.
まり
That is to say, he could
災い
survive
か
the
らは生き
crisis,
残れる
but
が
he would be a deserter,
もしくは
or he
この
could
世
stay
界
and
と
die
共
with the
に
rest
死
of
へ
the
と
world as a
赴く
hero.
その話
That sounds familiar.
そうか
Sounds so. Perhaps I've
も
told
し
you
か
this
したら
story
話
in
し
the
たことが
past.
この物語はあまり
Though
好
I
きじゃ
don't
ない
like the story, I finished it after all.
コズマ
But Cosma, you
そんな
shouldn't say
風
that
に言う
about
のが
others.
希望を探し
Those
に
who
行った
search
人
for
だっ
hope are
て
also heroes.
だが
But
グレーシュ
Creseo, that was an abandoned plan.
あれ
To
は
begin
諦め
with,
られ
it
た
wasn't
計画
really
だったん
meant
だ
to search for hope.
星たちの家
It's hard to visit the stars.
そ
Still
こ
too
にたど
far
り
for
着くための
humans.
あの船は確かに
Though that spaceship was
とあ
made
る
by a
天才が
genius,
作り
it
上
could
げ
not
た一品
accomplish
だ
such a tremendous task.
しかし
because of
時
the
代の
limits
制
of that
約
era.
だから
So, the young man's
少
real
年の
orders
真
were to
の使
hide
命
in
とは
endless darkness
闇に
and wait
潜む
arduously for the day
悠
he
久
could
な時
return.
をもし世界が滅んで
If
い
the
た
world
ら
really came to an end, he could
船に
scatter the
保管され
kindling
た火
kept
の
on the
種を
spaceship over the earth again.
仲間たちの屍の
Scatter
上
it
に
over the corpses of his
まくんだ
past comrades.
なら
And what did he choose to do?
もう一人の人物
Someone
が
else made the decision
代
for
わり
him.
にその少年は
In the end, that young man was
結局
too
のところ
childish and weak.
未熟で
He didn't have the power to make a
軟弱す
decision
ぎた
between two
けど
evils.
このことを教えたの
But
は
I'm telling you all these because I hope that you
グ
can
レーシュ
make
が
some
各少
changes
年
to
に
the
対
young
して
man in your painting.
できれば
Can you
現
draw
実
him
を
as
平
someone
然
who
と
can
受け入
calmly
れられ
accept
るような
reality? Someone more
より
mature?
成熟
より成熟
More mature.
あ
I hope
あこ
that in
の
this
絵に描かれ
painting,
る彼は
you will no longer feel that the
他
serious
人が真
decisions
剣
made
に
by
考
others
え
are merely one of two
下した決
evils.
断俺のような頑固なやつでもない
He's not as stubborn as me. He's someone
彼
who
は
strongly
決める
believes
も
that
のが
as
下
long
した決
as
断
the
であれ
person who
ば
made the decisions thinks that
利
it was
害を
worth
天
it,
秤にかけた
he's
結果
actually
が
not picking between one of
善
two
を尽く
evils,
した
but
もの
getting
で
the
ある
best
と
of both worlds.
彼がずっと受け入れ
But
ら
he
れなか
kept
ったの
rejecting
も
was himself, who could not
ただ
calmly
そう
face
してきた
such
自分と
situations. Selfish people are detestable, right? Don't paint him that way, alright? Only Cosmo, selfish people are the worst. Are they?
ならさっき話した
And
内
you
容で
can you paint what I just said?
わからない
I don't know, but I'll try.
大丈夫だ
Don't worry, it's alright
でき
even
な
if
く
you
ても
can't.
ともと
After all, it's only
彼は
natural
そ
that
んな
you
わが
can't
ままな
change
人間だ
someone
った
who was so selfish.
それで不
Oh,
破
huh? I'll leave the rest to
俺
you.
のために
Please, deceive her
彼
for
女
me.
とうとう
この
We've
時が
really
来て
come
しまっ
down
た
to
のですね。
this.
わかりました。
I know. A short time
い
ago,
や、第
I
8
want
の
you to
神
see
の書きだ。
Griseo's perception using the
グレ
eighth
ーシュ
divine
の神。
key. What?
さっきも話し
As
た
I
ように、
mentioned, even if I have the special
鈍
trait
勢
to
の特
devour,
性を持っていた
it's
と
a
しても、
memory replica. I can't hold the
記憶
cursor
体
of
である
corruption
俺
for
では、
long.
しかしそれにも例
Thus,
外
the
がある。
me who stands before her isn't the memory
もし
replica
目
that
の前
she's
に立つ
familiar
俺、
with.
そのことを悟られる
Before
ま
she
では、
realizes this, we can create more
雷の力
opportunities
者
for the
のた
Harsher
め
of
に、
Thunder.
そのために、
So, I want to become
俺
one of
はグレー
Griseo's
シュの絵に
paintings.
なる。
絵ですか？
Painting?
なら
Griseo
グ
has
レ
to
ー
use
シュ
your
にあな
colors
たの
before
色を
she
塗っ
can...
てください。
Oh, wait, you're
まさか。
saying... Yes, I'm hoping she could use all my
俺の色では
data
なく、
instead of my colors.
それは
Why?
どうして？
これはある種の偽
On
装なん
hand,
だ。
it'll be a layer of disguise that could
もしかし
obstruct
た
the
ら、
Harsher's corruption and
律
deletion
者が
against
俺
me.
を侵食、
On another
絵を
hand,
描かせるときに、
I'll
グレ
make
ーシュ
some
にある
requests to
リクエスト
Griseo
を
when
す
she's
そう
painting.
することで、
That way, she can paint a
彼女は
Cosmo that
俺
is
に似てい
similar
る
to
ものの、
yet
全く
yet
違っ
different
たコ
from
ズ
me.
マを、そしてそうすること
Only
で、
then can she create a Cosmo
彼
that
女
can
は
fully
過重長
unleash his
編を使いつつ、
overmetamorph by retaining his
ヒー
beliefs
ロー
as
の
a
心を
hero.
持っ
コズマ。
Cosmo,
あなた
are
は
you still unable to
まだ
face
今
that
でも
part of yourself?
あの
Your people would call this my inner
あんたの
demon,
故郷
but
の言葉
I
を
don't
借り
have
ると、
the time to conquer it anymore.
ですが彼女はうなずかない
Griseo
で
would
しょう。
never agree to this. Do you know what this
あな
means?
たならその行為
Give
の
up
意味を理
everything
解
as
し
a
ている
memory
はず。
replica and turn it to mere data.
記憶体ではなく、
According to
ただの
Elysian
データ
realm,
に
that's
変わる。
equivalent to death.
つまり
It's equivalent
グ
to
レーシュに殺して
making
もらうよ
Griseo
うな
kill
こと
you
なんですよ。
herself.
それがあんたに頼ん
That's
だ
why
理由
I'm
なんだ。
asking for you for this favor.
それに、
In the realm,
楽
we
園で
require
データ関
assistance
連
from
の
a
操作を
psychic
行うに
mantis
は、
to do anything on a data
精
level.
神感じ方融合戦士
However,
の協
Ponyan
力が
Su
必
can
要
no
とな
longer
る。
help
だ
us.
から、
So, we can only
第
rely
8
on
の
the eighth
神の
divine
鍵に
key.
心配はいらない。
Don't worry, I've been looking for a
ずっと
similar
前か
way
ら
to unleash my
似た
overmetaphor,
ような手段で過重長
overmetamorph
編
since
を
long
試す
ago.
グレーシュの絵になる。
Become one of Griseo's
これが
paintings.
最善の
This
方
is the
法なんだ。
perfect way.
俺は死ぬわけじゃないんだ。
I won't die. I'll live
ただ
forever
別の
in a
形で。
different way. When Noelle woke up from the memories, the painting had been completed. Drop by drop, the color black turned into paint and settled on the paper. And that owner of that color, Cosmo's body was already nowhere to be
ありが
found.
とう。
Thank you,
不破
Miss
お
Hua.
姉ちゃん。
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry, although Cosmo
Cosmo
had
に
asked me to help so
頼まれましたが。
earnestly, but
私はやっぱり
I
あな
still
たが
think
決
that
め
you
る
should
ことだ
make
と
the
思ったん
decision
で
for
す。
yourself. In the end, she did not use the powers of Feng
そ
Huangdiao
れに
to renounce
あ
stronger
なた
than
は
he
彼が思っ
imagines.
ているもしくは
Maybe he doesn't
こ
really
の
know the
行
true
動が
meaning
何を
behind
意
his
味している
actions.
彼のことを
I
あま
hope
り
you don't
責め
blame
ないであ
him.
げてください。
He has his own reasons for hiding
隠
this
してい
from
た
you.
の。
大丈夫。
It's alright.
悪意のない
Mama
嘘もあ
Ponya
る
once
って
said that some want
箱
lies
に
are
は
white
浮かんで
lies.
も
Miss
不破
Hua,
お姉
what
ち
do
ゃ
you
ん
mean by strong?
それはいいことじゃ
Isn't
な
that a
い
good
の？
thing?
やっぱりそうだったんですね。
She pondered over the words to say. She could use more childlike words. Should she use more childlike words to ease this cruelty? When she was facing death in the past, how did others guide her?
ほら、
You see,
コズマ
Cosmo,
は違う
he
形で
simply found another way to stay
ここに
here.
いいえ、グレーシュ。
Oh, Griseo, he's already...
え？
Wait,
グレーシュ
Griseo?
あのね、
Yeah,
私も
I also
コ
lied
ズ
to
マに
Cosmo.
色がないと
There are no colors I
絵は
cannot
描けない
paint. I still use Cosmo's
Nakara.
colors in the end.
だから
So this painting is the
この
real
絵に描か
Cosmo.
れている
And
の。
そういうことだったんだ。
so that's how it is.
つまり違和感があ
So
るけ
though
ど
he looked weird, the
さっ
Cosmo
きの
just
コズ
now
マ
was
こ
his
そ
true
が
form.
思ってもいないこ
But
と
he
は
claimed
話
to
さ
me
な
what
い
he
んだ。
said. Though he did not expect Griseo's recklessness, Cosmo's plan was still successful. Perhaps the reason behind this coincidental turn of events was because Cosmo did not understand himself well enough. The determination that the young man claimed he had never had was actually engraved deep in his heart since long ago.
けどグレーシュ、
But Griseo, since you already knew, why did you still come to me?
彼の気遣いを踏
Aren't
み
you
にじっ
worried
たこ
that
とに
you
な
would
るん
let
じゃ
him
ない
down?
の？
Cosmo
コズマは
stayed behind so that you
あ
wouldn't
な
need
た
to
が犠牲
sacrifice
にならな
yourself.
いだって
Because I
私は
cannot leave.
それもそうか。
Alright, I shouldn't have
聞
asked
くべ
that.
きじゃなかった
The
ね。
answer was too obvious.
だ今の光景をコズ
I'm
マが
sure
見てい
Cosmo would
たら
also feel comforted if
彼
he
も
could
きっ
see
と
this
ほっ
now.
とする。彼が今からも
Didn't
ら
he
っ
already
た
pass on the
脚光は
daybreak that he got
すで
from
に受け
Otto?
継がれならグレーシュ、
Alright then, little Griseo.
彼の代わりに
I'll take good care of you
私がちゃん
instead.
コズマの選択は 本当に残念
I
だと
truly
思う
feel
よ。
regretful over Cosmo's
だから
decision.
約束してグレイシュ。あなたは
Promise me that you won't
私を
sadden me
悲
like
しま
that.
せることをしちゃいけない。
I mean, it's not even technically reality.
やっロマンチックな気分になってみない？逃げられないわよ。コズマ、こんなにも時間を費やしたのに手ぶらで帰るわけにはいかないの。
It's getting fuzzy. What's happening? In that moment, she finally understood that Griseo meant much more when she said that she could not leave. Undoubtedly, Griseo didn't have the special trait that Cosmo had. She touched her ever so slightly, she could corrupt her completely. But why? Why couldn't she feel the usual vivid sense of fulfillment she got after a corruption?
グレイシュ、
Griseo,
あなた
you drew yourself into
自
that
分も
painting
絵に
too?
書き込んだの。
最後に
In the end, someone else made the decision for him. That's what Cosmo
代わり
said,
に
right?
選択してなら
Then of course there should be someone else in this painting.
みんなには白紙
Since
って呼
everyone
ば
says
れ
that
て
I'm a
る。
blank piece of paper, I think Cosmo wouldn't mind if I used myself as a
自
canvas.
分
She had used a tremendous amount of her supposed spare time to corrupt a painting. She did not obtain a speck of data from the Flame Chaser's memory replicas, and even expended their powers in the battle herself. How could she contain this anger?
なら
Then, what about Griseo?
もちろん
Of course, just like
グ
Cosmo.
レイシュ、
Griseo,
あ
since
な
you
た
had
が
already
彼を書
painted
き出
him,
した。つまりそれは
is this your own
あ
decision?
なたが私に
Are
追
you going
撃
to
さ
throw
せ
your
ない
life
ため
away
に
just to stop my
自分の
pursuit?
追撃
Her suit?
それはどういう
What does that mean?
コズマは
Cosmo, although he never says
ずっ
it
と
out loud,
話したことが
he
な
is
かっ
most
たけ
afraid
ど
of loneliness.
私はただ
I just don't want him to be in the
絵
painting
の中の
alone.
コズマ
At this moment, the anger that the Hersher had been effortfully suppressing finally burst at the seams, almost breaking her outer shell known as Elysia. In an almost violent manner, she disintegrated Griseo's disappearing figure together with her fading painting. Before this, she thought that the others had already sacrificed themselves for reasons absurd enough.
今度は
And now for an even more absurd reason.
こうも簡単
All
に
of you who give up your
自分
lives
の
so
命を
easily
捨て
like
るなん
this.
て。
時間稼ぎ
As beings made of
それ
data,
はデー
the
タで
only
ある
things we
私
can
たち
do
にでき
before
る
you
唯一のことです
is to buy time.
この子たちは
And they,
Saizen
those
を
two
尽くし
children
ま
have
した
already given all they could and did so well. The Herrscher of Corruption stood still, looking at the young girl before her, as if trying to understand all those seemingly meaningless acts.
つまり
So, were you
絵
the
に
one
な
who
った
brought
彼
them?
らを
Who had
連
already
れて
become
き
a
たのは
painting?
あなたなんだ
Here.
ね。
She spoke in an odd tone. Before this, she had never expressed such exhaustion and hopelessness.
その絵
How does that painting
ど
look
んな
like?
ものだっ
Can
た
you
の
let
か
me
見せ
take
て
a
も
look?
らえる？
すでに手遅れ
It's
です
too late. You already corrupted it
あなたは
yourself.
先ほど
分かってる。
I know.
どんなものだった
Can
か
you
教え
describe
て
it。for me? I'm just
少し
curious. Calling Griseo's final masterpiece, Hua sank into silence. At the black and gray, only countless lines spread out like rays of light. The painting evoked a child's mindless doodle. She did not know the techniques Griseo used, nor the meaning she wished to convey. But for some reason, that scenery reminded Hua of a sight that she had coincidentally seen in reality.
コズマコズマ曲光って
What does daybreak mean?
なぜそれを聞くんだ
Why are you asking
気
this?
になっただけ
Just curious. Your wife is no longer on screen. Calm down.
なら
Let's use your
グレー
signet
ジ
to
の空
explain.
に星が見えるだろ
Can
う
you see the stars in the sky?
極光とは
Daybreak refers to the
その
light
中で俺
exuded
たち
by
に
the
一
star
番
that's
近
the
い
closest
星
to
が放
us.
つ
なら
Does that mean that it's not special at all?
いや
No, it's
極
very
めて
special
特別な
despite
ん
how
だ
it can't illuminate anything,
極光
because
は
it came too early.
それでも
When people
そ
see
の
it, they'll
光を
know
捉え
that
られる
since the
頃に
stars
は
have filled the infinite
いずれは
sky,
きっと
then innumerable rays of
無
light will
数の
appear,
光がこの地
sooner
に
or
降り
later.
注ぐ
It's their own colors that they left in a world of colors.
言葉で例えるなん
It's
て
beyond me to describe it
私では
using
少し
words.
力不足それに
And I'm
あなた
afraid
も
you're not
おそ
the
らく
audience that Griseo wanted
グレーシュは
either.
ならふわ
And well,
コズマを
do you
削
not
除した時の
empathize
私の
with
気
how I
持ち
felt when I deleted
今があ
Cosmo?
ら仲間を死の
I
淵
must
に
feel
陥れ
terrible
る
to
なん
send
て
your friends off to their deaths
さ
like
ぞか
this.
しく
これは悲しみで
It's
は
not
ない
sadness.
彼らに払うべ
It's the respect that I must give them.
きでは
Now
ここから
then,
は
it's my
私
turn
が
to
使命
fulfill
を
my
果たしま
calling.
す
使命
Calling?
あ
Well, do you
あ
mean
なたが
the
言ってい
original
た
plan? What exactly was it?
彼らの犠牲の裏に
I'll show
これ
you
から教えて
the
あげ
true
ます。
meaning behind their sacrifices. Sag! Not the children! Everyone's dead! We're gonna go back here for a little bit. It's just a little bit. Just to get the daily chicks. That's the wrong thing. Actually, you're gonna do this. Oh, we go in here. All the things! Woo! Happy game! See, now you can see your wife. But not for long.
仙人と呼ばれていますが、本当
We're gonna do a gamba. Cause I want the fuhua. She already has that fuhua. Actually, she now has all of the fuhuas. We didn't get fuhua. Fuck. Story time. Woo. Do you think we're gonna be able to finish this part tonight? Yeah, well, that happens. Fear not. This is a guidance that Hua had once received. Back then, the battle was already coming to an end, and it left only two things for her and her squad leader: their past failure and their imminent, unavoidable future. Failure. To the girl named Hua, she never lacked the feeling of powerlessness in most of her life. So, when the figure of the seventh Herrscher was reflected in her eyes, the first thing she felt was not the fear of death, but a series of memories that had never faded. I want to know what I can do. That was when she asked her when they first met. That was what she asked her. Don't worry, you'll have a lifetime to figure that out. That was the answer that she gave to her. Back then, she never found the answer, but now. Rawr. This is the last one. In this space, woven by memories, Hua continued to battle against the enemies. Evidently, she had already defeated countless monsters. But it's meaningless to continue fighting like this. The girl looked intently into the distance and searched for the true enemy she needed to stop. After escaping from Griseo's scroll, the Herrscher of Corruption summoned numerous monsters and hurriedly left in a particular direction. Is the Herrscher of Corruption unwilling to spare time for even one battle? Looks like Vilvi's machine is really something that she cannot overlook. I need to catch up. I will only be on her side if I drag her into battle. Give me the outfit that she's wearing in the Elysian Realm story. I want it. It's cute. Re, I say.
間に合いました。
Made it.
ここまでです。
That's enough.
ふわ
Huh? Must you do this? Well, I thought that you'd understand what I'm trying to do.
怪物を使って時
Do you
間
mean
稼ぎ
using
をし
those
ていることを
monsters
言
to
って
buy
いるん
yourself
です。
time?
彼らは怪物なん
You
かじゃ
can't
ない
call them monsters.
まったく
Really, I will only forgive you this time, Hua.
もし
I
私
wouldn't
もあな
like it
た
if
の
I
仲
referred to
間
your
をそんな
comrades
風に
that
呼ん
way
だら
either, right?
みんな似たような経
Doesn't
験があ
everyone
る
have
で
a
しょ
similar
もっ
experience?
と共感す
We
べ
should
きだよ
empathize with each other.
私たちは
We
仲
don't
間を
have the
その
habit
場
of
に
leaving
残
our
して
comrades
死な
behind
せ
to
るような
die.
こと
Really?
そう
But aren't they treating you this
彼は
way?
より重要な目
Leaving
的
you
の
to
ため
face
に
an undefeatable
あなた
enemy
が勝て
alone
ない
for
よ
a
う
more
な敵と
important
一人で
objective.
戦うそう考える
Judging
と
from actions
別
alone,
に
is
違
there
い
a
はない
difference
は
between
ずだよ
us? Oh, forget it. I digress, Hua.
コズマとグレイシュは
Cosmo and
私を
Griseo
怒
have
らせ
infuriated me a little, but
だ
I
け
know
ど
that
あ
I
なたに
shouldn't
八
take
つ
it out
当た
on
りする
you.
べき私が離れると
I
決め
also
たの
chose to
は
leave for your
あな
sake. Though she did not reply, the girl's attitude was enough of a response.
信じようとしていない
You don't want to believe
それ
me?
とも
Well, you really don't know what
あなたは
don't
自
know what
分
you
の
want.
何を言いたいのか
I
わ
have
かり
no
ません
idea what you're trying to say.
うんいいよ
All right then, just to be
先に
clear,
言っ
I'm
てお
not
くけ
guessing
ど
blindly.
これは私
She tapped the side of her head lightly, implying the data stored
ふ
there.
わたとえ千号の
Well,
ような
even
人で
someone
も
like Kalpis is
そ
something they
の
want in
心
their
には
heart,
欲しいものや
or a
期
future they
待
wish
して
to
る
see.
でもあなたには
But you don't have
そ
such
ういう
wishes,
願
right?
望
話したいことがある
Don't
な
beat
ら
around the
単
bush.
刀直入に
Might
話すと
sound a little
ふ
brutal.
わ
Well, have you
考えたことは
realized that you've
ない
never done anything out of your
今
own
ま
will?
で
私には使命
I
があ
have
り
my
ます
calling.
強制的に与えられた
Strengthen
使
your
命
calling.
ひ
Oh,
ね
what
くれてる
feeling?
ね人類を守る
To protect
それ
humanity
と
or
も
to resist the
他で
Honkai?
もねふわ
But what? You actually don't know why you're doing this. And you're not sure if doing this bears any meaning, right?
坂から転げ
Like
落
a
ちる
rock
石
tumbling
のよ
down
う
a
に
slope, you're only
あ
standing
なたが
here
ここ
because
自分は何か
what
を
am I
してる
doing? What can I
ま
still
だ
do?
何かがで
It's
き
the
る
only thing you desire. You won't know how else to live.
あなたの口からそんな見解を聞いても
It's not convincing
説得
coming
力な
from
どあり
you,
ません
Hersher of corruption.
私から見たら
Living in this world
意味
with
も
no
わからず
purpose,
生きる
corrupting
ことと
everything with no
意
purpose.
味もわからず
Could
全
say
てを
the same
侵
for
食す
you.
ることに
I admit that I'm a little like
私もそうだって認めるよ。
that too, but
で
you
も
seem to be forgetting
不和
something.
は私は別に
I was not
誕
burdened
生
with
し
a
た瞬
destined
間か
end
ら
since I
決
was
まった
born.
終点人類が避けられない
Humans can never escape death, but that's not the
私には
same for
そうい
me.
う概念が
I
ない
have plenty of time to
だから
find what I live for.
おや
No more
反論
comebacks?
はしない
私のすべきことは
I mean,
あなたにここに
Fuhua
いてもらう
has
ことだ
been
けです
using her very long
それ以外
lifespan
何を
and
言われよう
has
と気にし
found
ません
something more to live for. But this is a different Fuhua, so. I just need you to stay here. Aside from that, I don't mind whatever you have to say.
だから不和は
That's
私
why
の
I
気
say
持ち
you
を
really don't
何
understand
も
me
分
at
かっ
all.
てない不和ある意味
Well,
あ
in
な
a
たは
way,
記
you're the
憶
most
体の
special
中で
memory
最も
replica.
特殊
You
な
care about everyone very much, so
私は
naturally,
みんなのことを
I'll give
心
you the
配
most
してる
special
からね
treatment.
私の一部に
I
する
don't
ことは
intend to
やめ
make
て
you a part of me anymore.
失敗する運
Since
命
you're
な
not
ど気に
bothered
せ
by
ず
your impending
ま
failure,
だ何かが
and
で
you
き
just
る
want
こ
to
と
know
だ
what
け
you
が
can
気に
do,
なるなら
then I'm more than willing to
私も
let
喜
you keep the
んで
power
それを
to
探す
search
求める
for your
権利を取
answer.
っておいてあげる今後も
From now on,
さっき
I'll
の
let you
ように
resist
反
me
抗
just
する
as
あ
you
なた
did.
にそれがあなたが生き
This
る
is
た
the
め
way
に
you
必要な
survive.
こと
I
な
don't
ら
mind letting you
そのまま
continue.
あなたを倒すこと
I
が
won't
でき
use
るよう
any
な
powers
力
that can
は
defeat
使わ
you.
ない
This way, you can always
そう
stay
す
this
れ
way
ば
until eternity.
さ
Come, let's
あ
begin
今
from
から
now.
始めてみよ
Don't
う
give up on me, alright?
絶対に諦めないでねごめんねフワ彼らを呼び出すのに少し時間が必要だったからとにかく私が全てを終わらせるまであなたは思う存分ここで自分の人生を楽しむがいい
God damn it! I don't know why it was like, no, you gotta do it all fancy.
数だけじゃない。個体の能力も上がっているのでしょうか。まだ戦えますが、このままだと突破は難しいでしょう。
Double kill.
時間に余裕はない。
Time is racing against
こ
us.
れ
I
以上
can't
無駄
stay
に
here
希
any
望は
longer.
薄いかもしれませんが。
Knowledge chances are slim, but
一応
it's still worth a try. After a moment of consideration, a crimson feather appeared in her hand and disappeared into nothing along with her idea. Yet, certain changes had already happened
意識
unknowingly.
の鍵。
Key of Sentience,
Dai
Level
ni
2
keikaku.
output. When she first faced the Herrscher of Corruption 50,000 years ago, she used the same power to protect many of the Moth's members, though that did not change the outcome of that battle. But the present is not like the past.
成功したのでしょう
Did
か。
it work?
ここは
Is this the
ある
mind of one of
怪
the
物の
monsters?
思考の中。
Orb. Ponder Orb.
やはり
It's expected to release the realms and
特
all
殊性による
level 2
影響で
output that only lets me
思
drag
考へ
into a
の介入
mind.
しかできない
Allows
はず
me to
の第二
transport
定
in
格
here.
出力が移動手段として使えます。残念ながらこの
I
程度の
can
敵
only
にしか
invade
侵
an
入で
enemy
き
of
ないようで
this
す
caliber.
が、意識からの反撃でしょうか。予想通りです。
It's just predicted. It
Yeah.
means
こ
he
の
can
ま
break
ま
out
敵
by
の
hiding
体
in
内に
his
潜
body.
伏することで突破できそうです。
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go. Wait,
Matte.
this?
あれは
Wait, notice. The young girl was shocked by her own presence. She had already moved her consciousness into the enemy's body with intrusion. In the Elysian realm, that meant that her physical body would have disappeared. Yet when she turned around, she still saw Hua
ど
standing
う
there.
いうことでしょうか。
What's happening? Is that a
意
doppelganger?
識の鍵が
Left
残
by
し
the
た
key of sentience? No. Pressured by a sense of danger, she quickly returned her consciousness back to her body. At the same time, a strange perception was spreading within her
どう
body.
して
Repeat, this
こ
feeling.
の感覚
It's like I simultaneously
まる
exist,
で
yet do
私
not
が同
exist
時
in
に
this
違う
body.
かこの体は私
Body is me, but the one controlling
先
that
ほど
monster
支配さ
before
れて
was
いた
also
怪物
me.
もそんなの
Oh, it's impossible.
ありえまさか
It wasn't the power of the eighth
今
divine
私
key
が
that
支
allowed
配
me
す
to
るため
control
に
it. And as if to prove her supposition, the outer world continued to change. Right now, she had yet to identify the root cause of everything.
敵たちは
They're all
皆
seemingly
私
controlled
に
by
支
me,
配されて
but
る状
I
態しかし私はいえ何はともあれ
welcome change.
これは
I
こ
should
ちらにとって
focus on
有利
pursuing
な
the
変化
Herrscher
で
of
す
Corruption.
今は侵食の律者を追撃しましょう
Cause is not enough cheese.
こんなに早く追いつくとは
Kind of so quickly? Is she somehow connecting to Senti or something?
どういうことでしょう
What's going on? Now the monsters that the Herrscher of Corruption used to control had fallen silent at her feet. The arrows wedged in their bodies hinted that there had been a cruel
彼女
battle.
は
Was she
No,
attacked by her
Honkai
comrades? Herrscher of Corruption glanced at Hua, seemingly unbothered by her identity, her face wearing an expression of melancholic loneliness. Maybe it's Mobius! In the past, Alicia occasionally wore that expression, but for many reasons, everyone thought it was merely an act. Even now, Hua still couldn't understand where the loneliness would come from for the Herrscher of Corruption. You've come, Hua.
来たんだふわ彼らは一体どう
What's
した
wrong
の
with them? They shouldn't have done that, right?
私はこんな
I
にもあ
love
な
you
た
so.
たちを
I
愛
love
し
them so. She stared at her feet as she spoke.
教えてフワ
Tell me, Hua,
もし愛する
if
人
some you
々
love
は
dearly must hurt the
ど
others
う
you
しても
love,
あなたはどうす
what
る
will you do? Ah, shit, it's ad time again.
エリシアは
What did Alicia
ど
do?
うしてきた
The ad's gonna be coming up. So we're gonna do a little review. I wonder if we can finish any of this cutscene.
たとえどんな目的があっ
Whatever
た
her
としても
purpose, she chose to become your enemy,
彼女
didn't
は
she?
最終的にあなたたちの手
The moment she finished, Hua instinctively shifted to a battle stance. It was an intuition that countless near-death experiences had taught her. Then, as the Hersher of corruption unleashed her power, the stinging fear began to tear at her every
この
nerve.
力は
Such power. She
私を
wants to
倒す
defeat
の
me,
が
it'd
目
only
的なの
take one blow. The being that possessed all the data of several flame chasers, including the strongest in the realm, almost knocked Hua out with a single perfunctory blow.
フワ
Hua,
フワ
Hua, can you hear me? Hersher of corruption slowly walked to Hua's side and bent over. She wanted to ensure that the fainting girl could hear her
心
clearly.
配しないで
Don't worry, I can
ちゃん
control
とコン
myself.
トロールできてる
I'm deprived
あ
you
な
of
たが自
movement,
由
and
に
I
行
won't
動
let
で
you
きな
die
くな
like
るように
this.
今なら
See, I wasn't
私の
lying.
嘘をついてないって
I
理
really
解で
wanted
き
you
る
to
は
bugger
ず
off. It'd be too easy.
私
Anyway, what I said before still
とにか
stands.
く
Why don't you take a rest?
私次に目が覚めた
When
時
you
に
wake
は
up, it'll all be over.
何もかも
You
が
can
終
try
わ
to
って
revolt against me for as long as you
その
like.
時は
She rose to her feet after whispering. In an attempt to find the instigator of the cataclysm, she extended her ubiquitous awareness again until it penetrated the sky.
だけど他の人た
But
ちは
some are less fortunate.
私の仲間た
The one
ち
who
を
turned
こん
my
な
friends
風に
into
した
them.
人
There's the ad. Okay. BRB.
Happy.
Aqua, why are you giving me bits while I'm not even here? Fuck you. Thank you for the bits, but fuck you. Oh, it's you. Of course. Who else could it be? 50,000 years ago, the death knell of an era was rung. Winning a battle but losing the war, the infamous black cube, which was responsible for that outcome, rested on a lab bench. No, you should leave. Because you're not supposed to be here. Because spoilers.
博士
Doctor,
このまま続
you
け
have
て
to
はいけま
stop.
せんあの仮説が正
Even
し
if my
く
theory is
成
applicable,
功する
you
可
might
能
nearly
性があっ
adapted
たと
to
し
it.
ても
Klein,
それを
don't you
警
think
告として使っ
they'll
た方
make a
が
better
もっ
reminder?
と有効か
Mobius hurriedly rolled down her sleeve and uncovered the sprawling black pattern. This peculiar wound only appeared on a corrupted subject.
どんな実験にも
An
リスクが
experiment is innately dangerous.
あなた
You
は
knew
とっ
that.
くにどうして急に戻っ
Why
て
did
き
you
たの
come back? Shouldn't you be
あなたは
receiving the
エレンな
Elysian
のか
realm from Eden?
イニ
それはただ
It's... I assume Fushi
フッ
blabbered
キーが
about
教え
it.
たの
はい
Yeah.
私の時間
Don't
を
waste
邪
my
魔しない
time,
でちょうだ
Klein.
い
Even a fool's quitting due to not
理解でき
understanding.
ずにフッキーだって
As for Fushi,
他の人
she
たち
merely
より
outstayed
少しな
them.
大して変わらないわ
That's not saying much.
もし
You're like
あな
her.
たの勝手にすれば
And so be it.
いいえ
No, I
博
always
士が
knew what
求
you
めてい
wanted,
るも
and I
のを
won't
知ってま
object.
すしですが
But as Fushi said,
Fuki
this time
の言ったように
you're being too stubborn.
たとえ実験が成
Even if the
功して
experiment succeeds and you
博士
become a
が
quasi
第
12th
12
Herrscher,
列車のような本体が密閉
given
され
that the
た状
host has
況で
been
は
sealed, there are no
あ
similar
なたがコン
viruses
ト
for
ロ
you
ー
to
ルでき
rule.
る最良の結果
The
は
best result is you stop being
あな
human.
た
As if I can be classified as human at this point. How many times have I told you not to jump to conclusions? I got one thing right so far.
一つだけ
One thing. It's a pity that I'm a poor match for the 12th Herrscher. When I have the ideal candidate in mind.
博士
Doctor. Now then, you've wasted enough of my time. Go see her with me, or leave with Fushi. I've given you the freedom from the beginning.
わかりました
I know.
それから
Oh, by the way, you're not allowed to call me stubborn from now on. I'm not stubborn.
言わないで
I'm
ちょうだい
greedy.
私の他に
Well, that's what me is entitled to do so. To understand gods, create gods, and ultimately
神を踏みにじる
trample gods. 50,000 years later, Klein was faced with the same question. Only the one who raised it was no longer the same doctor in her eyes.
まだ決ま
Make
っ
up
て
your
ない
mind already. Sim, who was supposedly corrupted and erased, was speaking ironically to her in person. Once again, she made the right call. It was nearly impossible to connect the Elysian realm to reality under the watch of the Herrscher of Corruption. Only the realm itself could have done it, or the one who claimed to be it. As Fushi did before, Ponyo notified Klein of Mobius by leaving.
つまりその時点です
So you solved the problem of not having
コントロ
viruses
ー
to
ル可
rule
能
back
なウイ
then,
ルスが
Doc.
ないという問題の
Mobius.
例の
Though, an imitation
かつての
12th
第
Herrscher,
12
through
列
an
車の
imitation
合
12th
法
Herrscher.
品
Imitation? The mere Herrscher of Corruption?
だから私が作れ
When
ば
I can, when I create, what I create can only exceed her.
ですが
But the Elysian realm is stable on the data
も
level.
ういいわ
Enough,
暗い
Klein. Since when have you gotten so many ideas?
あなたの質
I don't
問
have
に
time
答
to
える
answer your
時間は
questions. You will do as I tell
私の
you.
もし外
If
にいる人
outsiders
た
can
ち
detect a
が
Herrscher with
簡単に
ease,
律
then
者の
meeting
存
you
在に
wouldn't be
気
such
づ
a
けた
wouldn't be such a
あな
hassle.
たに
この起源の
I
侵
assume
食
that the
の列
Herrscher
車
of
は
corruption
今
of this era is in the
楽園の
realm.
中ですが
But you implied you got yourself
あ
corrupted
な
on
たは
purpose.
実装することで
That's why you plan to do your imitation into the
模倣品
data
の
of the
侵食
Herrscher
の
of
列車のデータに
corruption.
他に方法
What
がある
else? Is there a simpler and
これ以
quieter
上
way to
書い
do
た
it?
んでそれに
Drop that
その
idiotic
バカバ
word.
カしい
Or
言い
am
方
I
はや
only
め
an
なさい
imitation in your
そう
eyes?
言ったはずよ
Told you what I
あなたと
planted
植え付
at
け
the
たの
time was
私
myself the
自身
first subject of the artificial
腎臓
12th
第
pressure
12列車
experiment.
同時に
And the
一
first
つ目の
successful
成
case.
功例で彼女が
You
私を
thought she
侵食
corrupted
した
me?
って
The truth is the
事
opposite.
実
ですが
But it appears that you
今の
can't
あなたは
self-replicate. You
自己
have no
複
reason
製
to
する
come
能力を
otherwise. You thank
全て
Vilvi
ビ
for
ルビー
that.
の仕業よ
Had she not deleted those viruses with a back door, we wouldn't be in such a mess. That's why you need me to complete the last step, which is to replicate the imitation viruses in the realm with hardware permissions. Precisely. Using the former 12th Hersher against the current Hersher of corruption. Doesn't that sound exciting? This has never been done before. What are you waiting for? Is this one of your plans to resurrect yourself? If it succeeds, you'll not only return to reality, but also gain an authority similar to the Hersher of corruptions. It's okay. You don't have to trust me, Klein. You can go away and tell others what happened here, or destroy the realm system and end this. The drawback is, the liberate you care about will die for certain. Admit that we don't have many options. This is one of them. To my immortality, it's but an insignificant side effect. He's right. The data space only the Hersher of corruption can counterbalance. Another Hersher of corruption. Klein finally placed her hands on the control panel as ordered by Mobius. Good girl. Klein, please don't interrupt me, Mobius. If your replication doesn't pass the threshold, the operation will fail. You're telling me not to interrupt you? I didn't see this day coming. What's this, a role swap? Relax, we've got plenty of... Klein! It's the Hersher of corruption. Has she found us? Klein, get away from that machine. Klein did not respond. Klein! The fact that she's trying to stop us proves this is a viable solution. Please don't interrupt me, Doctor. She felt strange hearing the term of address. Indeed, they had spent countless days and nights in the lab to tackle challenges. Times have changed. Due to the previous attempt at seizing a Hersher's body, she was no longer the only person who understood her. Why? Whatever. Stop it now, Klein, before it's too late. For me to save you. I don't need you to replicate viruses anymore. Get the hell out of here after you destroy the realm's hardware. No, you assign me the duty to maintain the realm. I won't and can't make my own decisions. Think you're as iron-willed as a flame chaser? You can't possibly hold out. Besides, what good will a mere replication do? Hearing her argument, Klein stopped unexpectedly and gave Mobius a pleading look. Because I trust you. What? I don't know why. But based on my experiences, if I do my part, then whatever the challenge is, Doctor, or Mobius, can definitely overcome it. I don't have a sensibility module installed, so this must be a rational judgment rather than an impulse generated by similar looks. The probability of success is at least 70%. She did not add anything. What could she add? Time elapsed. The maintainer of the Elysian realm had been feeding her life force to a developing monster. Her hands moved slower and slower, and eventually stopped. No, not Klein. I should suffice. Do you know what you've done? Right, the more the better. She tried to get up, but her limited functions and fluctuating willpower failed her. Enough! You know this isn't rational judgment. 70%? Destroying the realm's hardware is the only guaranteed solution. Why didn't you do that? There's a reason. She wanted to justify her decision out of habit, since the person who taught her to always act with reason was Mobius. But somehow she felt she did not need a reason this time. Maybe I wanted to get back to you. Give back. Tell me, Klein, has the Hersher of corruption got to your thought center? Perhaps. Actually, Doctor left more than that footage. So I also must... Nobody's rushing you. I'm sorry. Doctor should have entered the cryopods with us. But when I returned to the lab, she was gone. Aside from that footage you saw, she only left me a message. I don't understand what she meant after all this time. That time, she said... The corruption worsened. Her language module was no longer hers to control. Looks like this is it. She made the same decision as the Grey Serpent in the past. The most effective way to contain the Hersher of corruption was to destroy the carrier. She pictured her structure and reached for the key component running it. The time has come. This is the end. To her horror, she lost the ability to move right before carrying it out.
どうして
This can't be.
もう間に合
Is
わ
it
ない
too late?
いや
No, the one who deprived me of movement is... Shocked, she looked to Mobius.
私が増殖し
The
た
imitation I replicated?
うぬぼれすぎじゃない
Why are you so full of yourself, Klein?
その命を
I
与え
gave you
たのは
life.
私
You don't have the right to dispose of
あ
it
な
at
た
will.
にでも
But it's too
そん
late.
なことを
I'm
しても
already... She suddenly realized why Mobius said she could save her. The first successful case of the ruling experiment, she used her data to transfer the corruption onto herself and redirect it to the
で
realm.
すが
But doctor,
博士
if you do it, you'll...
これで
This will eliminate the
古
only
の楽
possibility
園
of
を
the
外
realm
に接
connecting
続
to
する
reality.
って
Yeah, it's
全
your
部あ
fault,
なたのせいよ
alright? Now, I'm really going to die. Without a chance to go to reality, she would succumb to the harsher of corruption.
先に感情的にな
Fine,
った
you
のは
acted
そっ
on
ち
impulse first.
いい
Oh, then again, I'm not as dumb as
え
you.
うぬぼれないで
Don't take yourself too seriously. I'm only doing this to complete my
自分の無
infinity.
限暗い
Line,
暗い
line. There was no answer. The moment the virus left her body, she fell into slumber. What an ugly sight.
別れを告げる気
You
力
don't even have the strength to
残って
say
ない
goodbye. She approached Klein with an enigmatic look.
けど
What this might be in
こ
my
れの
favor.
指は
A snake hates to have anyone see her last moment.
よく眠りなさい
Sleep tight. When you wake up,
再
then
び
you'll
目
be
を覚
free.
ました時
She seemed even wistful. By then, the duty she had performed for 50,000 years would be no more. She would need to find a reason to live and face an uncertain future by her own free will. It would be difficult and terrifying. In contrast, death was the easy way out, at least so for a regular mechanical life. As for Mobius, she might never find out what the real Mobius said to Klein. It was missing from her memory. Licia once told her that candidly. But it did not matter anymore, for she finally had the realization.
「未来は私があなたのために作りたかった最後の無限さようなら私の理解者」
Stop giving me emotional damage! Damn it! On the battlefield, the other successful case of the ruling experiment opened her eyes.
この力は
Powers. She did not know the power churning inside her derived from the same source as the cataclysm. In front of her was a freakish sight. Monsters that had been enslaved by the Hersher of corruption were besieging her. Due to a loss of memory, Hua could not comprehend what was going on.
これは確
But
実に一
this
つ
is
の
an
チャンス
opportunity.
難しいよね
This is hard, isn't it?
どんなことが
No matter what happens, say, or
た
to
とえ誰か
betrayal,
に傷つけら
she'll
れ
need to live
裏切
everything
られたと
equally and
しても
strongly.
あの時の彼女
When
は
faced with a similar situation, how did she do it?
誰も知りません
Nobody knows. That's why she's Alicia.
ならあなたも
And do you also think
私には
I'm
で
even
き
able
な
to
い
do it? Not
彼女にはなれな
do
い
it,
と
nor become her?
そう思う
The answer was obvious.
え
Fair enough.
え今
I have to
私
concede
も
you're
それ
right.
を見た
She was still overwhelmingly powerful, but had in a sense come full circle. She was alone.
けど大丈
Well,
夫
that's alright. I know an easy
解決
fix.
する方法はとても簡
Things
単
that I can't convince
愛し
myself
続け
to
よう
love
全員
should disappear and save me the trouble.
どうやら私たちの間にある差は以前ほど大きくはないようです。しかしそれでも互角な戦いとは言えません。
これ以上戦ったら泣くからねようやくわかったよ無理をして全てを愛する必要はないって私はただ愛したいものを作りそれ以外のものを壊せばいいその方がずっと簡単でしょ
Oh god, I'm taking so much damage.
これでいいわね。今度こそ
This time, I won't hold back.
さよなら。
Well. Then came silence. As she deduced, she gained the power to retaliate for a while, but as long as her opponent wanted to win, she stood no
そ
chance.
れだけですか。
Is this it? In the darkness consuming her consciousness, she felt as if she had returned to the day of her departure.
自分にできることを知りたいです。
I want to know what I can do. Don't worry, you'll have a
あんたは
lifetime
一
to
生分
figure
の
that
時
out.
間で
ですが、
But this is the
これが
last
最後
chance.
に答えを教えて
Tell
く
me
だ
the
さい。
answer. This was clearly impossible. The dead was gone. Enjoy life, the Hersher of corruption had mocked. But somehow she felt this battle was a microcosm of her whole life. She gained power by coincidence, yet was still too weak to make a difference. The Hua in the Elysian realm also waited 50,000 years, but for life changers that never came. She may have had reasons to live, but none of them was strong enough. Perhaps she was fated to die with regret.
もう終わったよ。
It's all over.
ふわ。
Enjoy your
ここにい
time
て。
before you die.
次は
Now then. The very next moment, a blaze erupted from her chest. Its light rivaled that of a supernova.
まだ終わっていません。
No, it's not over yet, the Hersher of corruption. Having regained her feet, the soldier girl stood erect.
確かに
I still don't know what I can do,
私は
or what I'm fighting for,
自分
but maybe humans did not subsist on purposes. If every human was bound to die, how could generations of humans emerge from doom and carve out a future again and again? The girl did not know the right answer. Like those who came before her, she told herself,
進みながら見ていきまし
whatever
ょう。
happens, happens.
恐れるべからず。
Fear not.
戻った暁には
When I come back, I'll go back to
僕たちは
yesterday. He believed his friend would never break his promise. But he never foresaw yesterday coming in this way. Hey look, it's Pardo's shop!
侵食の律
This
者
is
の
the
内部
inside
が
of the Hersher of
こん
corruption.
な
He heightened his psychic senses and began reading his surroundings. It was not the depth of consciousness that Aponia visited. Through total corruption, the data of the Hersher of corruption flowed into where he was.
何の存在も感知
He
で
can't
きない
detect
の
any
か
existence.
侵食を受け
Never
た
being
後
able
も
to preserve
自我を
myself
保
from
てること
corruption.
以外
Have I lost my edge as a psychic?
精神まあいい
My ability matters not, so
ケ
long
ビン
as I
さえ
can
見
find
つけられ
Kevin.
る急ごう
I took it going. The
謎
last
の
answer to the
三つの
riddle must
答
be
えを
near.
チレ僕たちは敵ではない
Be gone, we're not enemies. Stop making me walk really
侵食の律
slowly.
者のデータはこれほど雑然としているのかこの中からケビンを探すのは海に落とした針を探すに等しいが
やってらっしゃい見てらっしゃい好きなだけ選んで偽物があったら値段の10倍を返金するけど返品は不可だよ
Oh, Pardo.
この声やはり
As expected.
おや
I haven't seen you around here before. Your first visit?
ちょうど仕入れをしたばかり
Some
なんだ
goods just came in. This hood ain't safe. So why don't you buy something to protect yourself? Take a look at... She finally realized that her customer was not taking forever to blink, but had never opened his eyes instead.
あ
Let me know if you need anything.
パルド
Pardo, I'm Sue.
スー
I can't tell.
それで
Alright, what do you
旦
need?
那は
When he was speculating the intent behind playing dumb and conceiving verbal probes, he noticed that what was truly unusual about her. Her tail resulting from the metamorph surgery was nowhere to be seen. He immediately grasped why.
なるほど
The dream fabricated by the
完
Hersher
全
of
に侵
corruption
食さ
is
れ
where
た
a
記憶
fully
体が
corrupted
行き
sin
着く先
goes.
はこんな場所に送られた
She's
彼女
teleported
は
here. Is she dreaming as
今の
well?
夢
The thought rippled on his mind. He once faced an enemy that manipulated dreams. Her battle scarred him emotionally for
も
life.
しかしたら
What if Kevin
ケビン
is also
いや
impossible? Pondered with his head down, but his uneasiness
しかし
remained. But in a
元
dream,
凶
the
の
city has
中だと
fallen
いう
into
のに
Honkai's clutches.
パルドにとっては
Is this all Pardo
それでも
wants? The girl who always acted the most greedy was actually the easiest to satisfy. He was not surprised by it.
とにかく
In any case,
今
I
は
need to
ケビン
find
を
Kevin
探そう
first.
彼女が本物のパル
She's
ド
the
な
real
ら
Pardo. She must be able to
き
put her
っと
talent
夢
to
の
use in
中
a
でも
dream.
君に
I'm
あ
looking
る
for
人のこ
someone.
とを聞
ふむなん
Oh,
でも
fire
言って
away. You never judged my
商売
client.
す
I
る
came
時
in
は
to
好
look for
き嫌い
things
なん
if
て
you
し
want.
ないから
名はケビン
His name is Kevin, and is
年は
about my
僕と
age.
同
His
じ
hair
だ
is silver, and he looks
髪色
rather
は白
aloof. His hair is
見た目
white.
は
That's what silver looks like. Huh?
それって王子
You
様
mean
のこ
Prince
と
Charming? Who hasn't
こ
heard
れ
of him?
楽勝だ
Piece
よ
of cake, but boss, as I said, the
Demo.
Honkai in the vicinity is extra
だ
thick.
から費用に関しては
About the fee. Hearing that name, Sue's heart sank. Without further ado, he took off an earring.
個人からもらったものだ
This is a priceless gift from an old friend. Please lead the way. Pardo's eyes beamed. After carefully validating his claim, she let out her usual laugh.
なんだ
You're
か
too
申し訳ない
generous.
なじゃあ早速
Now what are we
出
waiting
発しよ
for,
うか
boss? This doesn't cover security,
身の
so
安
keep
全に
up,
関して
huh?
はよ
これは
すごいだ
Isn't
ろ
it something? I went through a
こ
lot
れ
of
は
trouble to get
私
my
が
hands
苦
on
労
this
して
piece
や
of
っ
tech.
と手に入れた
Even comes with a
最
fancy
新技
name.
術なんだすごそうな名前も持ってるんだよ旋回
Cosmic.
旋
What's the name again?
回なんだったかな
神の鍵もここにあるのかしかしまさかこんな使い
I
方を
mean,
さ
it
れ
is
るとは
Pardo.
実に
Touch it.
ここに来たばかりの頃すぐにこういうネットワークを作ったんだほら隠れ家は多い方が安心だろまさかこれのおかげで商売がうまくいくとは思わなかったよ
Oh,
本当に
Pardo.
金運に恵まれてるってやつだね
ケビン
Why did she get to run, but not me? Oh, I guess Sue just fucking teleported. Okay.
来たのか
You've come, Sue.
ケビン
Kevin. It was him. Though his dear friend had not fallen into slumber like Pardo, Sue felt slightly relieved. However, he soon felt guilty for having thought that.
もしかしたら
Perhaps he would be
パル
better
ドの
off
よう
that
にな
way?
った方が
The two of them stood there and gazed at each other for a long while. Gazed, as if Sue was opening his eyes. She seemed to pick up the change in the air. My job's done. I'll leave you two alone.
待ってくれ
Wait,
パ
Pardo.
ルド
Yet the girl, as if afraid of being kept, did not look back and vanished around the corridor.
行かせてやれ
Let her go.
僕たちがこ
What
れ
we're
から
about
し
to
よ
do
うとして
doesn't
いること
concern
は
her.
そうではないかもしれな
Afraid
い
that's
よ
not the case, Kevin.
今までの観
My
測中に
previous observations, Pardo's data
パルドのデータ
disappeared,
も
but now she's with
一度
you,
は消
who
えたんだ
happens to be corrupted.
おそらく
This could very well be part
そ
of
れもビ
Vilvi's
ルビーの
plan.
計画はどこまで進
How
ん
far
だ
has the plan come?
君にとって
In
の
your
最
case,
後
the
の
last
一歩は
stage. What did Vilvi
すぐ
tell
そ
you?
こ
僕は精神感
She
知型で
believes
は
that
ない
even though I'm not a psychic, I can temporarily
だが
retain
彼女の
myself after
話
being
によると
corrupted.
だからいざという時
She'll need me to attack with all my
僕
might
は
from the
内部から全
inside
力
to
の一
create an
撃を放ち
opportunity for the decisive battle.
外
それだけなのかい
Is that all?
その通りだ
That's right.
それも嘘ではないが
This is the truth,
まだ十分
not
で
the
は
whole
ない
truth.
事実
It's left me a
彼女は
triple
僕に
riddle. I've solved
答
two
え
of
が
it,
3
and
つある
now
彼女は
she's at the safest
最も
place,
安全な場所を
ironically, to
ヒ
make
ン
me
トに
become
した
corrupted and came to the most dangerous
侵
place
食を受けた
to
僕が
assist in your attack.
その必要はあ
Is
るの
that
か
necessary?
あ
Yes, because
君
you've
は
been
長
corrupted
く
for too long.
自我の維持がで
You
き
may
る
still
と
be
はいえ
yourself, but you don't possess enough data
た
to
とえ
perform
全
that
てのデータ
unstoppable
を使い
attack.
果たしても
Therefore,
君は僕の全て
misuse all my
代
data
わり
as a
に
replacement. No,
Yeah.
as a supplement.
その後
What will happen
君と
to
僕は
us? Disintegrate into
共に消
nothingness.
え
分かった
I know.
僕を止めるつも
You're
りは
not
ない
trying
ん
to
だ
stop
ね
me.
君が僕の親
I
友
would
でな
if
けれ
you
ば
weren't my best
止めた
friend.
だろうだが
If you believe we must do
そ
it,
れが僕たち
then
に
we
必
must.
ありがと
Thanks.
タイミングはもう来
Has
た
the
のか
time come?
うもうすぐだよ
Close at hand.
メビウスが僕たちに
Mobius will create an
隙を
opening
作
for
って
us
く
where
れ
the
る
harsher of corruption will be weakened
その時
to the point of being
侵食
breakable.
の率
なら今
What should we do
僕と
now?
待つことだ
We wait. The white-haired man nodded and did not pursue the matter. He turned away a little and resumed gazing into the distance. That was when Sue realized his action was why Kevin's posture looked rather unnatural. Following his gaze, he saw a place that grew increasingly
上
familiar.
空市
Nagazora.
あ
Yeah,
それもそうか
you are the master of this illusion, after all.
ただ知らなかった
Thank you for the 41
Masaka.
bits, L.
君の最も見たい景色が
I don't know what you didn't know what you longed to see. At first glance, he could tell the city was ravaged by Honkai. Now go lurk! Go away. Not supposed to be here. Even in this unrepresented, unrepressed fantasy, the catastrophe that changed their lives was not forgotten.
いや
No, the
こ
sight
こ
here
の景
keeps
色は変
changing.
わりでも
It's playing my past. Indeed, Kevin was a man who anyone would deem a prisoner of his past.
僕にできるのは
All I can do is
待つ
wait,
ことだけ
so I don't mind killing time like this.
そ
Yes. Yeah?
う
How
ど
does
う
it
だっ
feel?
いくつかの可能性
I
を考え
imagined
たんだ
possibilities, but they were impossible, so it was pointless.
ぜ
た可能性
Possibility. Honkai didn't
So
exist. What would we be looking
もし
back
こ
on
の世界
today?
に放
Kevin turned around upon hearing those words. If his face was still expressive, he would have looked funny.
僕たちはとうに
Haven't we already discussed
その
it
質
another
問に
way?
ついて
別の形
Another way? An age-old remembrance suddenly came back to him. You remember?
あ
Yes, Sue.
一人の運命は
Character is destiny.
そのせいつま
Wait,
り
so you haven't
スー
changed
の
your
考え
mind?
は一緒
Doctor, is
そ
that
れ
what you
が
want
君
to
の目
be?
標
またかケビン
Not again, Kevin. This
昔
has
か
been
ら
going
君は
on since we were
いつも
kids.
僕の理想を
You have to poke fun at my every dream? Told you
そんな
medicine
ことない
suits you
よ
just fine.
いやただ
I just think you're
君
capable
の
of
器
great
を考える
things.
と
It's only been a while and you've gotten more flippant.
医療活動は
Saving lives isn't as
君
easy
が
as you
考える
think.
ように
Not to
まして
mention,
や何
not to mention
い
what?
や
And I
君に
don't
もう
want to get
一度
laughed
笑
at.
それじゃあつ
I
ま
won't
らない
ruin the fun. I was planning to tell you about my
今日は君
dream.
僕教えてくれ
Come on, you can hide it from anyone but me.
なんとなくだけ
The
ど
feeling that the doctor I'm meant to be doesn't only heal people,
僕は
but also tries to
世
heal
界
the
の病気
world.
うん
Huh?
え
説明す
I
る
can't
のは
explain. I don't even know
難
how
し
to do it.
いそれより
Let's talk about you.
理想とかは
Didn't you say you
特
don't
にない
have
と
real dreams?
今は違うよ
Well, times have changed. Sue, it may surprise you,
言っ
but
た
I'm
ら
bent
君
on
は
becoming
び
a
っくりす
hero.
るかもしどうしたんだ
What is it?
その
Leaving how you got this
どうして
idea
そう思
aside,
った
do you
かは
really know what a
さておき
hero stands for?
もちろんさ
Of course. Hero overcomes difficulties that arise and shoulders pain that strikes. No other way.
ヒーローは自
All
発的に
heroes
な
are
るものではなく
accidental, never proactive.
確かに
Indeed,
ヒーロー
hero
は
is never a
目
goal,
標
but
で
an
はない
action and a result.
メイは
What else
他
did
に
May
何か
say?
あ
Oh, she said,
あ君
you... It's not your way of
そもそも
thinking, Kevin.
それ
僕だって
Did I haven't... What's it called?
なんだったか
Epiphany? God, he was a
ス
fucking
ー
dumbass
君
rock
は一体
boy.
どうしたんだ
Sue, what's the matter with you? You acted differently when I mentioned her before.
あの頃の君はま
Because you
だ
weren't her shadow back
メ
then.
イ君
Don't you understand what I'm
Masaka.
saying?
え
How is that problematic?
それメイは天才だよ
May's a genius. Learning from her is the right thing
彼
to
女に
do.
もたまに思うんだ
Sometimes I think, since someone's going to lead
誰かが
us,
先
I'll
頭
feel
に
more
立つなら
comfortable following May than
そ
following
れ
her
は
around
メイがやっ
myself.
てほしい
だが
If you
君
choose
が
to
彼
follow
女につ
her,
いていく
you
こと
can
を
never
選ん
join
でしま
her.
えばその時
You'll be in
君
pain
はきっ
sooner or
と
later.
じゃあ
What did you say to her? About that?
実は
I'll admit that I
頬
wanted
を
to see your
赤く
blush,
する
so
彼女が
said,
君一人のヒー
I
ロー
want
に
to
な
be
り
your hero.
でも
But her response was
彼女
strange.
こう言われたん
She
だ
said,
誰かのヒーロー
If
に
you
な
can
る
be a
た
hero
め
to
なら
one, you can be a
きっ
hero
と
to
みんな
all.
の一つ
Sue, what do you think that
これって
means?
そうだね
Your character
一
is
人の運
destiny.
命はだからこそ
Since a person may only
人の
have
運
one
命は
destiny.
たとえ崩壊がな
For
くても
without Honkai, other matters would
他の
push
出
us
来
towards
事
the
が
same
起こり
destination.
ケビン
Kevin, one thing has
ずっと疑
intrigued
問に
me.
思っていたこと
Hoping you
が
could provide an answer today.
メイが言い出した
Is Dr.
世
May's
界の
conjecture
本
on
質
the
に
essence
関
of
す
the
る推
world
測は
unproven?
あ
Yes.
通りで
No wonder.
つまり
The world merely
世
a
の中の
stage
出来
show?
事は
Believers preaching the
すで
truth
に
that our
決められた
suffering is
演
to
目に
test?
過ぎさらに高い場所
Whether
に
we're
行き
worthy of ascending to a higher
人
plane
類として
and
の
ending the
子供
childhood
時
of
代を
humanity?
いや
No,
僕
I
は
don't
そう
think
僕
so.
が経験したことは
One that I've experienced is my own, not the price I pay for
何
success.
かを成しだから
So I won't deny any
僕
part
は
of
その
it,
一部
despite
を
the
決して
failure
否
and
定
the
しない
pain.
耐えることのない
Even if the pain
痛
is
みだ
too
と
much
して
to
も
bear.
耐えることのない
Even if the pain
痛
is
み
too
だと
much
し
to
ても
bear. Kevin was a man who anyone would deem a prisoner of the past. But he was not. He did not need to go back. He had not changed at all, from beginning to end. To this day, he was still devoutly practicing what he quipped about.
僕がそれらを
If I
避けた
avoid
ら
them, I'd be tantamount to denying May, denying
君
you,
よ
denying
彼女が僕たちとこの世
everything
界
she's
にもた
bestowed
らした
upon us
全
and
てを
this world.
エリシア
Alicia. Indeed, that's
That's
what we
good.
come for.
メイの言った通り
He's
だ
right. Compared with saving everyone, it's much,
みんな
much
の
harder
ヒ
to
ーローにな
save
るよ
just
り
one.
だが
But at least we have a
少なく
second
とも
chance.
じゃあ
This time,
今度こそ
will everything end differently?
相手はあのエリシア
Probably
だ
not, since it's Alicia.
おそ
だが少なく
For
とも
once, can we live without
僕たちはあ
regrets,
の時
right?
のように
あ
Yeah, since it's originally
あ
her
れが
dance
彼女
party.
の今回
You have to let the master
主役に
stay
は
till the end. You
僕
speak your
も
mind.
それで
Alright. Has the
僕
moment
たちの
come
タイ
yet?
ム
Keep on waiting, Kevin.
何度繰り返されても
No matter how many times
一
history
人の
repeats
選択は
itself,
何
one
も
will
変
make
わ
the
らな
same
い
decisions. We've
ビ
proven
ルビー
that.
の計画が
Sylvie's plans are
全て
entirely
それ
built
に基
upon this
づいその
conclusion.
最後の一部
The
も
last cog in the wheel is about
も
to
うす
turn.
ぐ
最後の一部
Last cog?
Well,
Boss, I
Jackson,
don't think I get you.
わかっ
Oh, is it a metaphor for my
た
best
最後まで
wear?
取っておいた品
Wait
物
here while
の
I
こと
get
で
it
しょ
for you.
もういいよ
Okay,
パルド
Pardo, you can stop playing dumb.
もう君の自我を維
The
持す
reason
る
I'm
た
here
め
as a
に
back door is to help you
私はバッ
maintain
クドアとして
yourself.
ここにそれは
And
ちゃ
it
んと
worked,
機
didn't
能
it?
お客さん
Yes, there are no back doors here. I do business the honest way.
じゃあ
Pardo, now you can
Pardo.
answer a question. If you don't have any
一
memories
つ
of the
初対
mods,
面のスーが自分の
why
名
aren't you
前を呼ん
surprised
だ
by Sue
時
calling your name on your
どう
first
して
meeting?
君
ほら
It's just business,
商売
so
だか
nothing
ら
personal.
お客さん
Boss,
他
do you
に
need
何か
anything
用は
else? If you don't, I gotta go
も
restock.
ちろんある
As a matter of fact, I do. I need
君
you
に
to
ガイ
guide
ドをお
a
願い
special
したいの
customer.
特殊
Special?
Mm.
Not a person, but an
人じゃなくて
attack from Kevin.
破壊力は本
Albeit
物だけど
undeniably destructive,
ただ
if
そのま
released
ま
as
放って
such,
も
it'll only destroy a
どう
large
でも
chunk
い
of
い
lesser
データ
data,
を壊
not
す
the
だけで
critical point.
今は
Only
君
you
だ
can
けが
do
成
it.
し遂
Only
げら
you
れ
can
る
open a path to the outside, which will guide the
外部へ
attack
の
to the
通路を
target.
boss,
Boss, I haven't a
お
clue
客
what
さ
that
ん
means.
そうだ
Why don't you find someone else?
他の人に頼んで
Oh,
み
get
たら
going. Meanwhile, she was stepping back, ready to repeat the trick of fleeing before the other could
分
react.
かった
Okay,
Ja.
bye.
うん
Uh-huh.
え
Somehow the other's nonchalant attitude made her want to stay.
バルド
Pardo, I
言った
told
はずだ
you
よ
my only purpose as a back
君
door
の
is
自
to
我を
help
維
you
持するた
maintain
めだけ
yourself.
君に無理強い
I'm
する力
incapable
を
of forcing you.
ほら
Look,
ここに境界なん
places
かない
without
でしょ
boundaries. You're at your freest.
君のすべきことをし
Do
な
what you
くていい
ought to do, but
君の
do,
したいこ
don't
と
do
を
what
して
you
み
ought
て
to do, but what you want to do.
変なやつ
What a weirdo.
時間の無駄だった
What a waste of
最初
time.
から
I
相
should
手
have
にしな
ignored
ければ
her.
よかったそれに
And
それにさ私
haven't I just helped Sue if I can't find Kevin? Sylvie said the back door that helped Pardo maintain herself worked. There was one thing out of her control. Despite not being ensnared in the illusion, the girl named Pardo Fellas was not of the resolved.
たく
Damn it, why did it have to come to this?
幻覚の中で生
What's
きた
so
って
bad
いい
about
じゃ
living in
ない
an
の
illusion? We're data anyway.
私たちも
But an inexplicable sentiment was stuck in her chest. In the past, whenever she stood in front of the graves of fallen companions with tributes, the sentiment would begin haunting her for no reason.
ここの全ては完
Everything's
璧で
perfect here.
ずっ
All
と
I've
求
ever
めてき
wanted.
た生活なのに
Why
私は悔
Why
しく
can't
感
I
じて
accept
し
it?
わかった
Alright, alright.
わかったよ
Only I can do it.
今回だけ
Just this once, the
最後の
last
一回
time.
だけだからケビンの旦那
Kevin, don't rush
急
it
ぎ
out
すぎない
there.
で
Oh, just tap.
よしこれで問題ないかな
I should do it.
ああ早く逃げ
Gotta
ない
run
と
Kevin's
ケ
attack.
ビンの旦那
This
の
blast
攻
wave
撃は
alone can
ヨ
kill
アだ
me.
けでも私にとっては命取りになるからお
Huh?
規模が大きすぎて
It's too large to sustain itself, huh?
知らない
I don't care. I I don't care. I just want an easy life. Is asking for sunbathing and napping too much? Why do I have to put my life on the line again and again for things like that? Yet she still kept going. There was no doubt that without human maintenance, that path would not last. For the maintainer in the attack's trajectory, what would become of her was painfully obvious. Elby, did you know this would happen all along? Oh, wait, I don't want to die. We're a business for heroes. I'm a nobody. Imagining being devoured by that fire made her smell her own ashes. She shuddered uncontrollably and quickened her pace. Romy must have made the same choice, huh? Going to the moon, battle the final Hersher? It's way out of my league. Besides, I'm the best at running away. I couldn't have died there. That's right. Romy must be alive. I know she's basking in the sun somewhere. So why must I get myself killed here? Indeed, her good luck was unparalleled. She could get out of any danger if she wanted. Indeed, she never dreamed of greater things. Her desires were too simple to warrant a heroic death. Indeed, she played many tricks just so she could see the sun rise again. Find a reason for someone like her to voluntarily choose death when she could live. That's impossible. Why would I give up my life? This is just insane. But why did her feet, which should be taking her to safety, take her back to that path? But being mortal means I can do stupid things. Ellie, you know I never operated a loss. You gotta come back. She stretched out a hand. It was still trembling, but it stopped the path from fading into darkness. I know. If I weren't so lucky, I wouldn't have been picked by you. And I wouldn't be here with everybody. So, Ellie, the thing is, I can't let you regret your choice. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll do my best. If you come back, don't forget to chase me. She ultimately made the same decision, even when she had no way to convince herself. Meanwhile, the attack that had been waiting for its moment was almost ready. She felt the air around her climb to an unbearable temperature. It'll be excruciating. She shuddered even more at the thought of the blaze sweeping in. But she did not back off one bit. I'm just scaring myself. Maybe nothing will go wrong. I've been lucky. I'm part of Ellis. I'm a flame chaser.
なるほど。
I see.
何があっても
In any case, we
僕
shouldn't
た
doubt
ちは
that.
歌では
Let us depart. It's time to place the stone for our past.
この一撃
After
を放った
delivering this
後
blow,
は
regardless of the outcome,
勝利を
you'll
手に入
cease
れ
to
られるかど
exist.
うかに関わら
Any
ず
last words?
少なくと
At
も
least
今
this
回は
time, you won't leave me behind.
君が僕より
Then you'll be disappointed.
がっか
Still
りさせ
going
る
out
かもしれ
earlier.
だが
Just by a
ほん
little.
の少しだけだ
He remembered those words
もしい
spontaneously.
つかこうやって
If
私
one
に
day
対して
simply
トリ
firing
ガーを
on
引
me
くこ
could
とで
save the mass of the
大多
population.
数の人々を助けケビン
Kevin, what would you do?
あなたはどうするの
人類の未
It's
来
not
を
about the future or ideals of
囚人の
humanity.
リス今回
This time, I'll load
僕は
myself
自
into
分
the
の命
chamber
をたった一人を
to
救う
save
た
a
め
single person.
一回きりのチャンスだケビン
Only got one shot.
僕が君の剣になろう天下いでよ
Blaze erupted from her chest. Its light rivaled that of a supernova. The two in a standoff finally saw it in its entirety. It was a blow that exemplified absolute destruction. It was the blow that led the people to go beyond the final.
ケビン
Heaven,
ケビン
Heaven, he
彼
did
が
it.
成し遂彼女の力
Her power plummeted.
無視で
Something
きない
inside
こと
her
にな
was
っています
gone.
あなた
I must you, one by one, do the same.
命を大事にす
Allowing
る
life, is it really that difficult
あ
for
な
you?
たたちに
それは
Mostly depends on the
必要がある
situation.
かどうか
なら不は
Now then, well,
あなたは
have
ちゃ
you
んと
thought
考
it
え
through?
たの
Will you be like them? Even if you don't know what you're doing it, why you're doing it,
命の意味を知っている者
only
だ
by
け
knowing the meaning of life
そ
can
の
we
重
bear
さ
the
を担
weight
う
of
ことが
life.
できる私は
I'm
そうい
not
う
like
人間
that,
じゃあり
and
ま
so
せ
are
ん
most people.
彼らが理由がない状
They
況
can
で
bear
そ
it
れを
without
担
any
ってきた
reason.
なら
I don't have to be an exception.
私も
いいよ
Well, Hua, I've also made up my mind.
これからあなたに私
I'll
の
show
全
you
力
my
を見
true
せてあ
power,
げる
but I won't try to kill you again.
生かして
Live. I'll
あな
make
た
you
を
live
生かし
forever.
長い一生を送ら
After
せ
you
た
live a
後
long
に
life, I'll make you admit to me that your old companions
愚
were
かだったか
foolish beyond saving. I'm doing 0 damage.
どうしたのフア
What's wrong,
こ
Hua?
れは仲間た
This
ち
is
が
the
犠牲になっ
opportunity
て
your companions
あなたに
sacrificed
作ってくれ
themselves
たチャ
for.
ンスだよどうして掴もうと
Why
しない
can't
の
you seize it?
はいこれでいいわね
時は来た
The time is now.
今ですでは第八の神の鍵
Wait, Monkey, Fang Hong down. Help me out one last
最後にも
time.
う一度力になってください
これ以上戦ったら泣くか
やっぱりできないんだねフ
You
ア
just can't, Hua.
また説教するつも
Going to lecture me some more?
Kill
I'm
me,
all
Daddy.
ears.
もう分かったはずだよ
See, Hua? Sacrificing can't change a thing.
犠牲だけじゃ何の役にも立たないようだと生きる方がマシだよ
Living is better, and then it provides opportunities.
数千年数万年後の私は
Maybe tens of thousands of years later, I'll let you defeat me and have
復讐
your
を遂げ
revenge.
させてあげるかもしれないよ
You just want me to acknowledge your rightness. Save your breath. Neither of us is right or wrong, yet we can never convince one another. We're weaklings that walk opposite paths.
同じ
We're
弱者
weaklings?
うわ
You can't call
自分
yourself
のことを
that.
そんな風に言わない
Amazingly,
で
you've held out this far.
それこそ
This is exactly why we can
私
never
たちが相手を説
convince
得
one
できな
another.
いこの類の感
You
情
can't
は
understand
あ
this
なたには
emotion.
理解
As
で
a
きません
weakling, your choice is to grow
同
stronger.
じ弱しかし人類は
But our choice is to join hands with other weaklings. Sacrificing is only a means to an end.
つまりフアは
Are you
そ
comparing
の二つの生き
which
方
of our
のど
ways
ち
of
らが
survival
正
is
しいか
better?
比較する必要は
I
あ
don't
りま
need
せん
to. They're inherently different.
あなたは
You chose
生きること
survival.
を選びました
Humanity, on the other
運命
hand,
を選びます
chose civilization.
私はただ
I only
あ
wanted
な
to
たの
answer your
質問
question.
にそれが人類の選
That's their
択なの
choice, then.
フア
What? You?
あなた
私の選択も
I choose the same.
都政の羽
Hang Hung
最後
down.
にもう一度力に
Ah, yeah.
そ
Why
して
can't she wear that outfit?
私にもわかるはず
God damn it! It's a good outfit!
第一定格出力私にもう一度束縛を振り切らせて
Eradicate all, including herself. As the last straw, it was unfittingly grand.
あなた
You
ずっと
have
そう
been
した
waiting
かった
to
の
do this.
コズマとグレーシュから
Cosma
ヒン
and
トを得
Grisea
たんです
inspired me, that's all.
都政の羽の
Hang
第
Hung
一定
Down's
格
level
出
1
力は
outfit burns memories. But in a space woven by memories, that's equivalent to burning myself.
もちろん
Of course, I'm not entirely
けど
sure.
あなたも知ってるは
But you
ずだ
should
よ
know that I can't be
私
erased.
はあなたが決意
Your
し
resolve
全
and
力
struggle
を尽く
only
しても
managed to eliminate one
最初はあな
hindrance.
た自身だけだ
Yourself.
よ
確かにそうです
Indeed.
ですが
But Harsher of Corruption, you should have noticed by now.
今あなたも気づいてるはずですあなたはもう
You can no longer
エリシアの姿を維持で
face,
きなくな
keep
って
up
い
the
ます
facade of Elysia.
侵食の律
Harsher of Corruption, this is her
So-
real intention.
何
What have you done?
あなたの言うよう
As
に
you said, eliminating the only
勝利への
hindrance to
唯一
victory.
の障害である
Ourselves.
666の支配
Gain
権を
control of
手に入れ
Mark
るために
666, you need to
あなた
become
は自分
Elysia.
しかし
But you didn't corrupt
Elysia を侵食
Elysia,
し
so
な
your
かった と
only
いう
option is
前
to
提で
acquire
それ
the
を成し
memories
遂
of
げ
other
るには
flame chasers
方法
and
は
weave
一
them
つだけ
together.
最初から知って
You
た
do it from the start? So Griseo and Cosmo erased themselves, not because they feared my power would grow from it, but... Yeah, I can't let you go near her, Alicia.
そして今のように
Now when corrupted flame chasers destroy their data in some way, you will even
何らかの
regress.
形
理解できない。
I don't understand.
そんな理由であなたた
This is
ちは
what made
自
you
分
give
の
up
人
your
生を
lives?
戻し、
I can't become her if I can't bring Alicia back.
じゃあ
How come the Hersher of Thunder could do it?
あのプログラム
As
が
long
起
as
動
you
し
can't
ない
run that
限り
program, I will win.
私はそもそも
I
計
didn't make
画
the
者で
plan,
はあ
so
り
I
ませ
don't
ん
know for sure.
それでも
But I want to
私は彼
believe
女
in
を
her,
信じなぜな
because unlike you,
ら
she
あな
has
た
more
と
than
違い
data.
記憶も
She has
で
memories.
す今あなた
Path
は
to the outside, the
外への
chance to stop
道
May, and the means to seize the
メイさ
program.
んを阻止する機会
You've lost them all.
それですが
But the changes
エリシア
Alicia
が
brought
メイ
to
さん
May
に与えた変
marks
化
Alicia left
残
on
した
May.
痕跡
They enabled her to best you.
私に勝つ。
Test me? I don't think so.
それはどうかな。
She had done with other flame chasers. She began spreading herself out. She repeated the process. She could still weave the form of Alicia from limited data. Meanwhile, she had decided to assimilate her opponent before she would burn away. You
あま
really
りシン
shouldn't
プルに考
oversimplify
えす
things.
ぎ。私は
I can do that
一度
once, I
で
can
き
do
た
that
ら
twice.
死ぬなんて許
Won't
さな
allow
い。
you to die. I'll make you live, witness my victory, and
私の
see
勝利
if
を見
there's a
届
right
けて
and
もら
wrong
うよ。
among ourselves. Too late. However, no signs of corruption appeared on her. Almost all her data had disappeared before the authority could kick in. The Elysian realm woven by their memories of the 13 that failed to become heroes, only one remained. The 13 flame chasers would become nothing more than a name of the past. This ending that signified failure in every sense, the final message left by the person who drew the
過
boundary
去から
was,
見れば
we are
確
indeed
かに私
losers in
た
the
ちは敗
past.
者しかし
But in the
未来
future,
から侵食の歴
pressure
史
of corruption, the duel that made us
私たち今
trailblazers,
から始まるの
has
です
just begun. Foreshadowing to Star Rail! Everyone's fucking dead but Eden. Okay. Fuck, right, that's just that shit. Do you think I can finish this in an hour? Yes, very wholesome, heartwarming story. That says progress 56 of 69. I don't remember what it was at when we started. You want to say so, but you're not sure. Hmm. Hmm. Because I don't want to start and then it be like 2 hours from now and we're still not done. And I mean, I know if we finish it on Monday and it only takes an hour, we can still move on to the next chapters. You know. Because it's like, it's gonna take me longer than it probably took you guys, like, to do it a time, because I'm also reading a bunch of shit aloud, and that is a lot slower than reading in your brain. Good Griseo, being daughter. So then, we will we'll end it there. I'm going to attempt to get more crystals so I can obtain a Fuhua. Did you get her outfit, Shola? Her super pretty outfit? Not yet. Do I have any Dorm Supply cards? I don't. I don't have any. I can't make any gambles. Okay. We're gonna go. We're gonna go raid Kira. He's doing big ol' subathon thing. Dope. So there's our messages. There's that. He is replaying through base Endwalker, and then he's gonna do the patch story. Right now he appears to be in Garlemald. I think he may be doing the okay, I think yeah, he just got to Garlemald proper. So that's where he's doing. He hasn't finished the Endwalker patches, so don't say anything about them. He has played Endwalker. He's played through Endwalker, just hasn't done the patches yet. So he's gonna do those after he finishes. Okay. Discord, Twitter, that shit linked down below. Tomorrow we will be back, but we will be doing some Elden Ring. And I don't know how long this longer I have of Elden Ring. But we will be back with this on Monday, and we'll see about finishing up chapter 31. Hopefully, presumably. I will see you all tomorrow night. I hope everybody has a good day, night, whatever. Goodbye.